options I've not seen. But I just thought I would hop on. One, I could test out how my internet's doing because I just got TravelFi internet maybe a month or so ago, and I'm not sure if it's going to be able to hold up for a live stream. So I thought I would test it out and see how it does and see if we can hold on. If not, I have my Starlink already ready in the back to hook that up instead. And I also have Connect In back there as well. I have my 4G hotspot. I've got a lot of different options. So, I thought we would see how it does and how it holds up. Right now, I'm stealth camping. I obviously cannot tell you where or how or any of the details, but I'm stealth camping right now, and I thought I could make dinner. I just finished cleaning the van, which seems like a task I do every single day to no avail for hours. So, I'm gonna pull up this on my computer because reading tiny words over there is very difficult. But hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? This is my first live stream from the new van. It has been quite some time, but it is complete. I know we're not there in the videos yet. I still have two build videos, which is the back doors, which as you can see came out so beautifully, and I'm so happy with them, but they were a struggle. I would say if you've watched the whole van build series, I never really broke down before about a build project. But this was the first one where I really struggled and had no idea what I was doing because, spoiler alert, those are bulletproof now. They're bulletproof. I believe I got the idea from No Radar Vanlife, something like that. So there's a whole video about how I made them bulletproof, but I know that sounds crazy because it is. Oh, hello. Yes, the cell phone booster video. Yes, I posted that today, and there's some mixed thoughts on that. I am actually using the cell booster right now. I had TravelFi on. I got their smallest little, like, I think it's a TravelFi Go or something like that is what they call it. And when I got it, they were like, "No, we want you to get the higher one because we know you're comparing it against Starlink." Hi, sweetie. Because we know you're getting Starlink, and they wanted their numbers to be similar and have like a good fight. But I'm like, no, I think this TravelFi, I was like, no, like I really want this one. Like, look how small and compact it is. Like, I can put that in my backpack. It works when I'm driving. It stays plugged in all day. I keep it in front of the fan though, because I've been using it since 6 a.m. So it gets a little overheated when you're using it the entire day. But it's what I'm using right now to stream. So it's working pretty well. It's been working all day. So I'm very happy with it. I would say so right now. I keep scaring her. She wants to jump. You gonna jump? Go ahead. No? Okay. Right now, I am not paying for TravelFi. They're giving me a sponsorship until I decide. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do one, but I was like, but I don't know which one I want to be sponsored by because I haven't had any of them, and until I've used them. I don't want to be sponsored by any of them. So right now, they're giving me like 3 months free. Connectin's doing a few months free. Starlink, I'm paying for Starlink. Um, the high boost I bought. I'm just trying to test them out and like get an honest understanding of them. But then also like once I'm putting my own money into it, I know which one. So that's extremely nice. But that is the plan, is just to really learn and test. I was in a national park yesterday, and I went to like the mid section where there's no visitor centers and like almost a dead zone, and I tested them all out. Starlink blew it away. Starlink blew away the competition. I mean, it was crazy. But I'm trying to think. My the high boost wasn't doing that well. I was surprised. I was very surprised. I'm not sure why that was. Oh. I remember. Okay, so I was testing out this video. I was testing out for the video, and I realized I was testing them all on the roof. I wanted them all in the same place so I could test them equally. And then I was testing the high boost on the roof. The whole point of the high boost is that it's on the roof so you can sit inside the metal box and have internet in here with this antenna. So I'm doing it on the roof. Of course it wasn't working, and I was so confused, but that's my lesson. So high boost is nice, but you got to be in the van for it, I guess. So new things I'm learning as I've been on the road. We're learning a lot, aren't we, Betty? She's got like little cardboard in there that she likes to scratch. So let's see. Hi. Good afternoon. It is 7:30 here. It is 7:30. It's very dark. As you can see, there's actually a lot of bushes there. So it looks like I'm in nature, but really I'm in a parking lot. And I chose to back up so that I would be against the bushes. This is like my secret strategy, okay? Some people want to always be in nature so they can have good views. Those are the only windows I have back here besides the skylight. And so I just park up against bushes and then it feels like I'm in nature all day. You see what I did there? Earlier, I saw a lizard climb up a tree while I was working. And I had the like skylight open and there's a tree right above it. I felt like I was in nature, but I was working all day. So to me, it's like if I'm working, I don't need to be in nature. My eyes are on the computer the whole time. Like being in a pretty spot doesn't affect me. So that's my opinion. What if I get a knock on stream? Knock on wood to avoid that. Pun unintended. Pun very much intended. That would be crazy. I won't. I have not gotten a knock this entire time I've been on the road, and I got on the road for my birthday, so around January 6th. I know that's an unfortunate birthday, isn't it? What a day. What a day. Um, so I got on the road around January 6th, and I've been in the South ever since. And it's been incredible. It's been so nice to be back on the road, to be back in a van, my first time full time in this van. And I feel like it's a whole new world, like relearning the van, relearning different things. But then also, I have so many more things in here. It's so different. So, new problems as well. For example, the sink is broken right now. So, I am back to brushing my teeth with a water bottle, and I have no idea how to fix it. So, that's been the problem. Yesterday, I learned I should have been lubricating my emergency brake consistently, like on a maintenance schedule. Never heard of that. Apparently, it's a ProMaster thing. I just learned it. I've owned a ProMaster for 6 years. So, always learning something new. Always learning something new. Don't get your solar panel what? I also hope squirrels don't get anything up there. I was just in a national park where like birds kept sitting on top of vehicles, and I saw a video where they were like, bring a tarp because they will eat your wires. And I did not bring a tarp because where am I going to get a tarp from? I'm not going to buy a tarp just for this. But yeah, so luckily, nothing has eaten my wires yet, but I'll have to, that's on my maintenance checklist to get up there and check out the wires. I've been working on a maintenance ebook, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Oh my goodness, thank you. I appreciate that. That was really kind. Okay. So actually, can I give you like a sneak peek of the maintenance ebook? Because I've been working on it and I'm really, really proud of it. I made an insurance one too. And I've been, okay, so actually I'll show you the insurance one first because if you can see that. Okay, but so I just got new insurance and now I'm with Roamly. So I was like never Progressive again because Progressive kind of screwed me over with my first van. They were like, yeah, we would not have covered you the entire time. So I went to get this van and I called them and I was like, hey, I'm just upgrading from a 2015 Ram ProMaster to a 2021 Ram ProMaster. And they essentially were like, we would never cover that. My name's Tonka Jahari, and I would never order a full pizza for myself. If you did not get that, I'm really sorry. That probably was really weird. They're like, we don't do that. And I was like, well, you do. You've been doing it for years. And they were like, no. And I was like, so if I was in an accident, you wouldn't have covered me, even though I've been paying you. And they said, correct. So that was terrifying. And I did not like that. But okay. So I knew I had to take it seriously. And I was like, Progressive never again because they told me that. But I called a lot of different places, got a lot of different quotes. And Roamly is just incredible. The problem was those companies didn't want to, they like didn't understand van life. They didn't understand camper vans. And so I just kept calling and they'd be like, what is it? What do you want us? It's an RV. Okay, but and they had to like keep putting me on hold to talk to superiors. And I'm like, I don't feel confident to have you as my insurance company because I feel like my first mistake with Progressive the first time was they did that like go around, and I finally got someone who was like, yep, we'll do it. And I was like, oh, finally. And I felt like I kind of snuck in, and it felt that way. And because I snuck in, it wasn't properly covered. But now I have Roamly, which is meant for camper vans, and I pay 109 a month now. And I have great coverage. Okay, so I learned every single word that goes with insurance lingo. I put it all in here. I put my entire experience, what kind of coverage you need, what you need to get together, when you're doing your van build to make sure you have everything that the insurance company is going to want. So, entire book in progress. Really excited about it. But my point was to show you the maintenance ebook, which hopefully now we're getting a widescreen. Now we're getting a widescreen. Wait for it. Wait for it. Maybe not. Okay. Point being, I made a maintenance ebook too, and it's going through everything. It goes through not only what you should be doing monthly to your vehicle, which is a long list. Like I was just saying, I didn't know you had to lubricate your parking brake every so often. No, I did not know that. But guess what's broken now in my vehicle? My parking brake. Do you know why I learned that? Because I was looking up how to fix my parking brake. But yeah, so that's hopefully will be out soon. I'm going to make a video about, oh, here, I'll show you, about this new device that I found for, is this it? Oh, here it is. For changing your oil, okay? I'm very excited. So usually I pay to get my oil changed, but because imagine being in a Walmart parking lot and just like being under your vehicle. It sounds uncomfortable, even in an AutoZone. Like I don't want to get under there in a public parking lot. So I want to say when I was at Peace Love Vans, someone recommended to me a video by that really funny Ram ProMaster channel. It's like called ProMasters Only. Hilarious channel. Great channel. That guy knows everything. And he did a video about an oil pump extractor. So you don't have to get under your vehicle to change out your oil. You can do it right from the hood. So I bought one. It was 20 bucks. 20 bucks. That's insane. So I'm very excited. It's called Oil Pump Extractor, 20 bucks on Amazon. I'm gonna make a whole video trying it out and testing it out, but he already did and it was incredible. I was so impressed. Let's see. How do I ensure my self-built camper van to cover if I have an accident to cover my build? Okay. Did you ask this before I answered? Okay, I want to re-go over this just for a second because in case it was after. So Roamly, you don't want to get, according to my research, I'm not an insurance agent. According to my research, you don't want to get like regular coverage and then get like personal articles coverage because that's not going to cover it correctly. I really liked Roamly. They used to have a policy where your vehicle had to be like less than 20 years, then it was less than 5 years, and then they wouldn't do full timers. I'm a full timer. They know that. I was so beyond clear with everything about my vehicle because I was scared that if anything happened, they'd be like, well, you hid this, you lied about this. So I was really, really clear in everything that I told them. So they're covering the build, and then separately, I paid for 3,000 of personal items in the van. So like my cameras and my computer. I was like, I don't have anything else of value in here except you. There's no amount of money that could replace her, which is why I have the bulletproof windows, 20 locks on every door, everything imaginable, a pet tracker, video cameras, the whole 9 yards. So I went with Roamly. He was great. He sat through me asking every question under the sun because I wanted to get everything so clear when I wrote that book out. But yeah, so I would definitely just make sure you get RV insurance. You can go with so many places. The only way to really know what's right is to call places because every single place is going to give every single person a different answer. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Do you regret not having put in more windows? No, because so with those, I didn't feel comfortable having back windows until I covered them with the Lexan polycarbonate bulletproof, almost bulletproof, like shatterproof. It's not glass, it's polycarbonate, it's its own material. I think it's 150 times more durable, or I think it was 250 times more durable than glass and 30 times more durable than acrylic. And so those are like, no one's getting through there. To me, like with her in here, if anyone shatters the glass and she gets out or she gets hit with glass, not worth it to me. I'll put her in her crate and I'll open the door. Like I'm in a parking lot right now. If anything, I actually appreciate that I can't see out these windows to the parking lot and I can just see out the back where the pretty view is. So I don't, but also like weather, like the heat. When it's really hot in here, I appreciate, it's really hot right now. That's why I have the fan going. I appreciate not having more weak points in my insulation because that's such a weak point and I can feel it. Like literally feel how bad it is when the sun comes out. Like I have to put a insulation, like a reflectic. I keep it behind my pillows because I'm always ready. It's very humid down here. How is Betty traveling? I know I'm way up in the questions. I'm sorry. um, Betty is doing great. Betty used to hate driving in the front seat because I had a little carrier for her. I buckled her in. I was like, "You're going to be so safe and it's perfect." She did not like that. That she did not like because I had to pick her up and put her in there. And now I keep the carrier in the back and I have it like secure in the back, and so she just climbs right in there on her own, and there's no fight, there's no problem. She doesn't like being picked up, and so I think that was the problem. There was no way for me to put her in there and then squeeze it through every single time. So it's actually worked out pretty well, I think. But I think she's doing great. I should use my parking emergency brake often. I agree, because but there's also a recall on the ProMaster emergency brake that has no fix yet. I think there's also a recall on the transmission that has no fix yet. Doesn't that make you feel great? That's terrifying to me as someone who lives in here because, okay, the parking brake's probably like a 1 day job, but the transmission, like I'll be out of the vehicle for a while. Um, with the parking brake, it's still annoying because when you go to dealerships, and this happened to me when I was in Vegas, I had an appointment. I got there and they were like, "Okay, you're gonna leave it here, and then we'll get to it when we get to it." And I was like, "No, what do you think an appointment is? Why did I make an appointment if you're gonna do that? That's not what an appointment is." And I had no choice. So then you're paying for a hotel, you're paying for an Uber to get to the hotel, where are you eating? Like, how are you, And then with Betty, that's a whole mix in. So, hi. Did you hear me talking about you? Yeah. Do you want dinner? So I know. Okay, so am I going to Michigan anytime soon? Probably not. Probably not like soon. I've got everything pretty planned out. Um, your cat hair is flying everywhere. That's been Betty's biggest problem here. I brush her every day for forever, and cat hair is just not at a all time low, right? Yeah. How many years have I been doing van life? You're thinking about doing it. That's very exciting. Congratulations. I know that I went through a phase there, for anyone who's been watching the channel, um, where I was like, "Oh my God, am I ruining my life?" But since I've been in it full time and the build's over, the build was exhausting. Since the build is over, I've been like, "Why isn't everyone doing this? This is insane. This is so great." Like, it's so nice to not have you're so cute. To not have such a commitment to working and to giving my life away to working and to not committing to one place. Like there's so many places I want to go and I want to see, and I can do it at my own pace. And I love that. But also, even if you don't like traveling, I think van life has so many perks to it. And let's see. Like, okay, so for example, I have complete freedom over where I go, when I go there, when I work, how I work. And that's a little bit of like my job is like I had to write a magazine article that was due today. Um I do independent contracts for companies and I go around and I do social media like for events. But I just feel like I have such freedom to do anything and to see anything. Before it was like, okay, well, I'm going to pick this place for 6 months. I'll get an apartment. I'm probably stuck in a lease for about a year. I have to stay here, but then I'll go somewhere else. And now I just, wherever the wind takes me that day. It's wonderful. Okay. Would I suggest lonely people still building out their vans? I So I think when you're building out your van, you actually can't do certain things, right? Like when you're building it out, they're going to ask you questions like, do you have a bathroom? Do you have a full water system? Do you have a bed, like a fixed bed in your van? It doesn't be fixed, but it has to be like a bed setting. It depends on which insurance company you go with, which their stipulations are. But they're going to ask you those things. And so it's probably not going to be accurate when you're starting out your build. So you're so cute and fluffy. So you're probably not going to be able to get RV insurance for a while. And I don't know that they cover without it. I hope they do. That'd be great if they like had it so you could get regular insurance through them and then just switch right over when your build's done. But I'm not sure. So you guys are really nice. Thank you. Oh, well, you're going. Do you want to read the comments too? I saw us petting her. She didn't like it. um, Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Greg. That's really sweet. Thank you. Lexan is great. Lexan is so good. I met a woman I went to the van festival that's like lift off van festival. And there was a woman who was looking for help on how to fix. She had an older van and they didn't sell the window anymore that she had and it was broken. So she just had it covered with a garbage bag. And she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, you can use Lexan. You can shape it however you want. You can screw it in. Drivers, like a not I want to say NASCAR, not NASCAR, but like race cars use it. Wow, there's cat hair going everywhere. I clean this van every day for hours. I'm not kidding you. And then I clean it in the morning and I clean it at night and I wonder, I didn't do anything. I was barely in here. But I would say I sweep like 2-3 times a day. That's my life. Hi. Ever thought about going up north, like somewhere super cold to do some weatherproof tests? How up north? Like I've always wanted to go to Alaska. I think that's a lot of van lifers' dream trips. They're so cute. Um, it's not in the cards yet, but hopefully one day. I don't know if you guys can see this, but her cat hair is just you're just what's happening? You're shedding. What's happening? Um, did I ever consider a transit? Actually, recently I've been thinking to myself, I think I might regret not having gone for a trip. Are you gonna smack me? She's a sassy one. You'll be petting her. She'll be like, please, please, please pet me. And then within a second, she'll be like, how dare you pet me? And you got to watch for it. I think that was the signal. Yeah, that was the signal. Okay. I've been kind of regretting getting a ProMaster. One of the big reasons I went for a ProMaster the second time was because I've already learned so much about the maintenance. You see this? And I feel like that knowledge is invaluable and took me years to get. And so I just didn't want to trade away that knowledge of like how to replace the battery, how to do the oil change. Um, yeah. But looking back, I wish I would have just taken the learning curve again because, that all-wheel drive is pretty nice. The ProMaster is wider though, and I still feel like this is not wide enough for me. I think the Ford Transit's the tallest one, right? And the Sprinters are the longest. Is that what it is? They're all different. Each one hits something different. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Please hold. But yeah, I've been regretting not going with a transit. I think it just kind of opens up the options. And I thought ProMasters would be the easiest to service because there's so many of them. They're what the Postal Service use. This is Kathy. 1 second. Yeah. There you go, sweetie. They're what the Postal Service use. They're what so many big companies use. So I thought fixing it would be the easiest, but I read now that Fords are, I don't know. Who knows? Not me. But I don't know. I just had such comfort in the ProMaster. But thinking about it, but here's the thing as well, right? Because I have a ProMaster, I'm on ProMaster groups and I know what the ProMaster problems are. For example, the transmission. I've never had the headlight problem. I've only ever had to replace my headlights once. But some people have to replace their headlights like every few months or like screw a hole in it to let out the condensation. That can be an issue. The emergency brake one is a common problem. I have a savings account set up for the transmission when it inevitably flops. That's all I can do. But I don't know what the Ford problems are because I never had a Ford. So I'm sure if I had one, I would be in those groups and I'd be seeing those problems. So who knows? Recently purchased a 2025 Ram ProMaster and I'm already having issues with accelerating downhill. Interesting. I don't know if I have that problem. Sometimes going on the highway, it kind of gives me a little bit of like, it really takes some chugging. to get it going. But I don't think I have that specific problem. So maybe that's a common one though. I feel like I'm always learning new things about the ProMasters. I need some people to tell me some negative things about the Ford. That way I can feel better about my choice. Oh, thank you, Skeet Dog. That's really, really kind. I appreciate it. I think it's been really interesting to me building out this new van, and I really wanted to make content that like showed every aspect because there's so many pieces of the build. For example, the partition door. There was no videos on how to do that, and I just really wanted to, since I was already doing it, make a video how I did it step by step to kind of help people because I needed help. Like the back doors, there was one video on how to do the bulletproof glass, and he was so show with it. And I think he was just like so knowledgeable in what he was doing that he didn't go step by step. But I was like, I need you tell me where you bought it, how much it was, what kind, what thickness, like when you cut it, what did you do? Did you just drill right into it? Did you cut? I was so nervous about it, and so I just like to make videos that essentially say what I needed to hear when I was building. Do you have a van insurance link where you can earn money through your channel? I don't have an insurance a link for any of the insurance companies. Um, I did ask Romley at the end of my phone call when I got mine set up, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have an affiliate link?" Um, and they were like, "They can't do that for legal reasons," he said. So I don't have one, which is too bad because I would genuinely. I mean, I haven't had an accident with Roamly. That's my interesting thing is I've heard people sing the praises of Roamly and how great it is that they do coverage. They understand camper van builds. It's for van lifers. But in comparison to State Farm and Progressive and whatnot, which this is Progressive, it's Roamly through Progressive. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about how it works after they got in an accident being covered by Roamly and how they dealt with the actual van build part. So all I know is I've been watching a lot of videos on lately about how State Farm does not treat their people well. Like they don't cover people when they get in accidents intentionally and they're the worst at it. So I'm glad I'm out of State Farm. I feel like insurance is so like you just have to hope you're doing it right, which is terrifying. um oh my goodness, I lost where I was. Okay. Campgrounds are almost always full. Any suggestions where to stay? Great question. So I've like never stayed at a campground. If I'm with my family, my mom has her RV, we're at a campground. I think I stayed at one once because I was with someone and they were in my van and they wanted to go to a campground. They felt more comfortable. They were like, "Oh, we're camping," and I'm like, "We are asleep. Our eyes are closed." Like to me, that's such a weird thing to me because I'm asleep. I'm in here. The doors are closed. I only have those windows. I don't care where I am. Like in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll go somewhere cool if I want to go somewhere cool. So to me, I don't care where I am, which is probably why I'm a big stealth camper. Also, I just feel safer if I'm not in the middle of nowhere. But oh my goodness, okay, Florida. Is it called like Waterworks? Water. I gotta find this. Recreation. My internet's being used all for the live stream, I think, because it's being slow. West Region Recreation, Northwest Florida Water Management District. Okay, so the Water Management District. Let me find the live stream again. Um, okay, here we are. The Water Management District in Florida has segments all throughout, and they're free camp spots. I found the most beautiful, like, jungle place, and it was completely free. Most of the spots were empty. I got it, like, right beforehand. You can go all over, so that's so great. I really haven't unlocked a lot of camping that's free up in the Northeast. I know the West Coast is known for that, like the free camping spots. Um, I also had Harvest Hosts for a while, which does have a lot of openings often. That is more like a campground if you want to do a campground because they're like wineries, they're animal farms, they're just like big wide open places and businesses that invite people in to camp. You're supposed to buy like one thing there, so I used to always buy a bottle of wine to bring home to my mom, and until one broke and like spilled everywhere, and then I was like, we gotta do something else. Not anymore. The van did not smell great. Um, so Harvest Host was great. I did look at getting like some discounts to camping memberships like America's campground. Is that what it's called? Like some camping passes. In the end, it kind of felt silly to me personally. Um, but yeah, so I do a lot of stealth camping. Cracker Barrels, Planet Fitnesses, side of the roads, Walmarts, hotels. I've never not been able to find something at those like five places. And if not, I'll go to Irelander. I'm not picky about where I go. I'm really not. I'm an East Coaster, so we don't have a lot of free camping, and I just take what I can get, and I'm okay with that. So hopefully that's helpful, but I know I should probably also make an ebook on that with like all of the different camp spots. Um, it is hot. Okay, so do cats shed more when it's hot? Is that a thing? That would make sense because she's been shedding a lot. She's just sitting on the floor right now. She's so cute. You're going to start your van build next year. Congratulations. Good luck. Hopefully, you do it a lot faster than me. I've been getting a lot of comments lately that say longest build on YouTube. I want to say though, if that discourages people, it's partly because I'm videoing while I am building. So I'm having to edit. I'm having to, like, the same week I'm doing one project, it's like the rest of the video is a full-time job, essentially, is what I'm saying. But I'm also doing that job while I'm building, and I'm also trying to do like insane research to make sure when I make a video, I'm saying the most intelligent things I can. So that takes time. So hopefully I don't discourage too many people. Do I have an air compressor to inflate tires in the middle of nowhere? Better. Yes, I do. And I also have traction boards because I learned about traction boards the hard way. I had them in my van when I was in Vegas the whole time. I was out there with nothing in the van. It wasn't built out yet. And I was building in the desert. So I had a storage unit where I would put things when I was building. That way the van could be as empty as possible. And one day I was like, I've never used these. I'm just going to put them away. Guess which day I got stuck in the sand? The very next day. The very next day. So now I will never take them out of my vehicle. But what I did, I had internet luckily. So I looked it up and I used a cardboard box under my wheels. And that got me out. That got me out. Luckily. There was one time though I had to have a friend come and get me out of the sand. That wasn't fun either. Why did I not have traction boards that day? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, is my microphone bad? Let me know if my audio is bad. I do have microphones, or it might be the fan, but the fan might have to stay on because it is really hot down here. Um, what happened to my Mighty Sink? I love it. It's at my parents' house right now. My Mighty Sink is essentially, it was a sink that I had in my van when it wasn't built yet. And it was really great. I do love it. And if I had an unbuilt van again, I would definitely use it. If I ever go car camping, I would definitely use it. It's this kind of sink, but just, oh, nope. Okay, it just glitched. Um, really simple, really easy, easy to empty. I loved it. It was great. And it had like an USB faucet. So it just kind of went in the clean and went out the dirty. It was great. I loved it. How tall I am and how tall I am. How tall am I? I am 5'9". So I got a good chunk. I got a good chunk. My dad has to like bend his head a little when he comes in here, and I think he's like 6'2". So um thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh goodness. Okay. Is it difficult to juggle van life upgrades videos while also writing for George? Yes, that is why I was gone for a month. That is why I like didn't post a video for a whole month. I definitely overdo when I make videos. Like I take like 3 shots of every angle instead of just like talking to the camera like I should do because I'm just trying to show every angle and show everything and really give the experience as if you were here and doing it instead. If you have any questions, like you're seeing it in real time. But that makes editing take forever. Take forever. And if I just talk to the camera the whole time, it's way faster. Um, so it is what it is. George, I love writing for George because it's a great break. Like I went to a national park and I just sat out and wrote the article like with a beautiful view, and that was so nice. And I think it's nice to have a mix up of jobs. And so I just did a job with Peace Love Vans. I came out and I did some content creation for them, which was nice. It's a mix up of I just edit a lot is my only problem. I sit and I stare at a computer for hours a day, and I feel like that sounds like what people are trying to escape when they get into van life. Is my AC working? Yes, my AC is great. It is working, but it's very loud. It is very loud. Even on the lowest setting, it's extremely loud. So I just don't have it on right now. It's really not bad in here. If it was bad, I would have the AC on because I got a little chicken nugget down there. That would need the AC on. But she's so funny because I will do everything. I'll put on every fan. I'll put them right in her area, and I'll put the AC on, and I'll have it blaring, like going down where she is, and I'll be like, I'm gonna make sure you're cool when it's like 95 degrees, and she will go and find like she'll go up into the front and sit on the driver's seat right in the sun, and so then I have to keep the door open because so she can go in and out and get water or whatever she needs. And then it gets steaming hot back here, but she's like, no, I want to lay in the direct sunlight in 95 degrees. And I'm like, I don't know that I can let you do that. She can tell I'm talking about her. She woke up. But that's what she does. She sits in the sun even when it's very, very hot. But yes, the AC is installed. I didn't know how to put the top part in, so I went to a company in West Virginia, far from where I was. I drove many hours, and they installed it wrong, so it leaks. And not like leaks outside the van, leaks right here whenever I use it. And I have to cut the cord, but I need like a sawzall type thing. I don't have one, so I have to rent one from Lowe's. Haven't done that yet. We'll get there. I just let it leak, if I'm being totally honest. I just let it leak. Put a cup there, call it a day. It's on the to-do list. The sink's broken. The hinges over there are broken. The LED lights aren't in yet. These drawers open when I drive. There's still a list. Okay. There's still a list of things that has to be fixed, even though I'm on the road. But for right now, I'm just taking a break and enjoying being on the road finally after all this time. And I very much so have been enjoying it. Will you do a video in the future for your Wi-Fi test outcome? Yes. So I'm absolutely going to be doing a video. I've been really, I want to gather as much data as possible and take them to as many places as possible because I feel like, okay, I could do a test of all of them right here where I am right now, but that's not enough. Like I want to know over the course of time when I go all these different places, how is it holding up? And of course, that's not going to include the West Coast because I'm not going to the West Coast, but it will include spots all up the East Coast. So I just wanted it to be as thorough as possible. So I didn't want to just rush it and do a small section. So I got a national park in the mix. I got some like normal parking lots. I've got some just like side of the roads. Just trying to mix it up and get as much data as possible. But it's hard because even still, it's like every place is going to be different. Every place is going to be different. So, but there will be a full video. I already have the charts made, a lot of different tests going into that. And I'm very excited. The Shopify is working right now. That's what I'm live streaming on. I was going to use the Starlink, but I'm already almost out of data. And I'm impressed. The Shopify has been working really well. They told me that I shouldn't get the tiny one because they were like, it wasn't going to perform as well as the next size up. But I have the Connectin in the kind that has like the spider legs, and it's broken 3 times now. And not even like an internal problem. Like one of the legs broke because a mechanic dropped something on it. Somehow the cord got all messed up. It just like keeps breaking. It's very irritating. So I didn't want that kind. I knew I didn't. And I've loved this. I've really, really loved it. It just stays plugged in all day and it works all day. And I love that. But yes, a video on it will be coming. The sound has echoes and reflections from the walls. Do you hear the fan? The microphone is bad and far from the face. Oh, okay. I recognize your profile. And I don't know if you know this, but when you comment something on a video, I can press your profile and I can see every comment you've made on every video you've ever made. So that's all I wanted to say. On my videos, not like every video ever made. Um, Shadow Dance Studios, what book are you reading this month? Okay, so I'm rereading Throne of Glass right now. And I love that. I read that when I'm on the treadmill. But, and I've been reading this for a while. I like to take it slow and read it slowly. Because I just think it's so good. The Courage to be Disliked by, I'm not going to attempt to say that. I thought about it, but I'm not going to attempt. About changing your life and achieving real happiness. And this has been so good. And I am the kind of person who does write and highlight in books. And it's been so good. It's been so good. Let's see if I can find a good part. Oh, this was the line that made me get this book. But as long as one continues to use one's misfortune to one's advantage in order to feel special, one will always need that misfortune. It's like, that's a banger. And yeah, this book's great. It's hard to find like a quote that makes sense without context, but I'll put that away later. This is my video camera right here, and it's incredible, and I love it. One of my best upgrades. This is my Miss Marble clock. Okay. Do you run AC frequently in warmer months or chase 70 degrees? I've been running the AC a lot because I've wanted to be in the South. I've wanted to be here, and I don't want to have to choose where I go based on the weather. And that's why I paid for the AC. I mean, okay, so I didn't pay for the entire AC, but I still paid a good chunk for the install. The install was very expensive. The AC was given to me by Cruise and Comfort, and I love it, and I'm very happy with it because it's an undermount, which means it gave me enough space on my roof to have a roof deck, which I would not have been able to have otherwise. So to me, like that alone is the selling point. But yeah, no, I love it. I use it a lot. It pulls like 50 amps, I believe. And I don't even leave it on. Like the lowest setting is still pretty strong, so I put it on for a while. I wait until the temperature in here goes down, and then I'll just like turn it off, and I'm fine for a good 20, 30 minutes without it on. And then when I'm like, I turn it back on. Maybe that's a weird way to do it, but it doesn't pull all the power, all the power in here. I have, still a good chunk of energy left, and that's all I need. So that is what I've been doing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the voiceovers are definitely a lot of work, but I think they just explain things better, and that's what makes them worth it. But also, I can show things while talking then, which I think helps a lot. Because instead, I'm just like holding the camera up. So it always feels like an investment, but hopefully a good investment. I feel like when I look back on this fan build, I wanted to know that I was doing it the best I could. That way I'd never had to do it again. No, I'm just kidding. The best I could, because I think the series is going to like live on YouTube forever. So I know that I watch van build videos that are like 7 years old. So I knew that I wanted to really make the best I could. It keeps spazzing the chat. Freon leak or condensed water? No, it's just condensed water. The Freon's underneath. Van life and to-do lists go hand in hand. Yes. Yes. All I'm ever doing is an endless to-do list in here. I fix one thing, another one breaks. You can't get a break. Do I intend to make any more skits like The Matrix? Yes. My new thing in the videos I've been filming of me traveling around Florida has been puns. Like really bad puns. Um my favorite video I think I've ever made, and I made the intro that I love on Christmas Day, is my Shrek vlog, and I recreated the intro to Shrek, and that was some of the most joy I've ever experienced in my life. Like just on an island, like no one's around because it's Christmas Day, and I painted my arms green and I redrew the storybook, and it was great. It was great. And I had nothing in the van. I was literally sleeping on cardboard boxes and a mattress, and it was a good time. It was a good time for sure. I love yeah. It's interesting because I look back at that time in van life and I think I definitely could have been happy in the van with nothing in it, if I had intended to, like, and known I was going to live like that, instead of having the constant to-do list and weight on my shoulders of having the van built and having to do it, and like not wanting a lot in the van or wanting to spend money on things, because I knew that I was going to eventually not need them because I was upgrading for the actual van build. And I just feel like if I would have had nothing and known I had nothing, I could have been really happy. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, and been totally fine. But maybe I'm just trauma erasing how bad that was. Do I speak Russian? No, I don't. Any collabs coming soon? I don't have anything with anyone or any companies right now. Um, let me think if I have any. Companies have not been reaching out to me because my views are really down, which is concerning, but that's okay. Just my income. That's fine. Um, so I don't think I have anything coming up at all. Honestly, I've had a few companies reach out to me and then we talk, and then I'm like, okay, ship it to this address, and it's a general delivery address, and they won't ship it there. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I live in a van and you knew this. You're a van life company. Like, what did you expect? But no, when my van build's done, I do want to do a bunch of van tours with people. I think they're really fun. I love getting to meet them and meeting um their vans and seeing their experiences and hearing their stories. I think that was such a valuable part of having my old van. I made a lot of friends that way. Got to really know a lot of good van lifers. So I definitely look forward to eventually doing that. But that's about it. Have I fixed my fridge's power draw problems? No, my fridge is not even on right now. It goes on for a few hours and then it goes off for a few hours, and I'm using it like a cooler essentially right now. So that's okay. That's okay. So I called Dometic though. I will say I called them, told them the error code. They didn't even ask questions, didn't even ask to see the error code. And they have a new one sent out. They also would not send it to a general delivery address. So I had them ship it to a friend's house, which I will not be able to get to for at least a month. So for the next month, I'll just be living with a cooler, essentially, which really, really sucks. I think I don't know what did it. I don't know what did it. But we're making it work. We're making it work. Is there a drain line or spot for the condensed water? Maybe add a tube to a bottle. Okay, so there is a spot for the water to come out of the AC. The problem is the company that installed it. They installed it like on like a roller coaster, essentially. And I looked at that and I was like, I know nothing about ACs. I know very little about how to put together an air conditioner, but I know enough to know that is the exact obvious problem, and I never would have installed it that way. Not in a million years. I mean, why did they think water was going to drain from a tube that goes upward like that? Like, I don't know. Um, so I called them and they were like, oh, well, that's how much tube was there. So we just attached it as it was. I know you hear that. I know you hear that. And they're like, you cut it. Like, they screwed this into place. It's not like it was like moving around anymore. They screwed it into place, said it was done. Tested it, put it on for me. I drove home many, many hours. And now, yeah. So I didn't get my money back in any way at all whatsoever. It's just my problem. So that's how it goes. What is the power of your air conditioner? It is about 50 amps, I believe. Yeah, the puns are going to be great. There was one video where it was out of control, and I was like, I have to stop, actually. Like, I actually need to be doing less puns right now. And it's a pirate-themed video, and it's great. It's so great. And, yeah, I don't know why, but puns have become my thing. Ah. Go to Lake Tahoe for the summer. That would be great. That would be great. I already have plans for almost the rest of the year at this point. And I'm going to be going international for the first time this year as well. And I'm very excited about it. Very excited. I've only ever crossed like a little bit over into Canada. That's all I've ever done. So I'm very excited to take my first international trip. And then, but one day, it's like getting my toes wet, getting like, because one day I want to be able to go international and rent out camper vans, like go to New Zealand, rent a camper van in New Zealand, see the location where Lords of the Rings was filmed, the dream. Would I ever consider converting a coach bus? So I have a friend who has a bus, and he had a van before, and I have seen the problems he's been facing as far as parking, driving, getting mechanics to fix it, the upkeep cost, and he keeps it in one space a lot. So that I think is a benefit for him. But for me, I want to go all the time. So I think the van's definitely for me. So I wouldn't consider it right now. I would consider a tiny home down the line, like way down the line. I'm starting a savings account just for the tiny home so that I can do it way down the line. So I'll be keeping the van for sure. But I love the idea of doing a tiny home build maybe 8 years from now. Does it siphon out all at once? The AC water? No. No. But if I'm driving, so lately what's been happening is nothing will come out at all while I'm using it, and then I drive, and then it sloshes everywhere. And that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Always something. Oh, I reloaded the page. So I'm gonna have to. Oh no, did the whole chat go? Okay, no. Great. Um, Thank you. Yeah, I like making fun videos. I want to get back to making more fun videos. In the van build in the end, I feel like you can see it. You can see the progression of me getting just burnt out on the van build. And not only in my excitement and how I used to. I mean, my first and my second van build video were second one was just all Harry Potter references the whole time, just ridiculous, out of control Harry Potter references. And towards the end, I'm like, just get through this day, keep going. And I also feel like you can see it in my body in the last few videos. This video I'm making about putting my back doors in, my face is just covered in acne, and I'm just I look exhausted. I look like I need a break, and I did need a break. And I finished all of the van build videos. I came down south, and then I took a month off and just reset because that was a huge project. And it's interesting because I watched a video I made where I was working on my first day moving into the van, and I was working on editing it. And I said in the video, I'm like, is it weird that I don't like the van? And I look back now and I'm like, what do you mean you don't like the van? Who was that? Who was that? Because now I love it. Now I love it. And I wish things worked and things weren't broken, but it doesn't matter what van it is. It's always going to have something broken. Even if I bought a professional one, there's still going to be problems. So I'm pretty happy with it now. I love the aesthetic I went for. I love the castle vibes. It just took me a minute to get here. That's all. There's an RV convention at Daytona Beach. Oh, April 10th. Okay. 10th, 11th, and 12th. I have a very weird and very fun event to go to on April 9th. Ignore that. My light died. On April 9th that I cannot miss. So, while I would have loved that, I unfortunately cannot be there. Buses use a lot of fuel. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, this thing uses a lot of fuel. It's already got me being when I used to live in the Honda, which was never that long. It was, I think I did 1 month, the longest time I ever lived in the car. But when I did that, gas was great. I drove all the way across the United States, and it was just I don't want to say a cheap trip, obviously, but it was not that bad. So, but on the contrary, I had to sleep on the Honda floor. Now I've got a full size bed, the fridge freezer sometimes when it works, an AC system, the whole 9 yards. So give and take, I guess. It's my rent, I guess you can call it that. Fuel right now is pretty rough. Dolores rule, yes. Everyone always assumes my name is spelled like yours with the capital L. That's how they think it is. That's so funny. I'm glad the hotspot video is helpful. I think, yeah, I remember, like, I used to have to sit in the van and, like, put my phone outside on the roof, and now it puts the signal right in the van, which is incredible and great. A bit expensive in the upfront cost, but I live in here every day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always here. I'm literally always here. So making an investment in the van, I think, is a good choice. Any plans to travel outside of the USA, like Europe? Yes. This year I'll be going to Europe for a short while. I'm very excited. I will be making videos on it. I'm a little bit nervous about how that's going to go because I know my channel is not an international travel video channel. So I'm nervous about making too many videos of it. I don't know if people are going to like that or not, but it's going to be an insane trip. An insane trip. It's going to be so incredible, and I'm very excited. Any other van lifers that you want to meet and why? That's a great question. Okay. There's a girl on Instagram right now. I'm trying to remember her name. Oh my goodness. What is her name? Her last name is Santa Cruz. Does anyone know who I'm talking about? I love watching her videos. I think, like, I would love to make, I would say all my van life friends are pretty much all guys, and I would love to meet more van life girls. Just because I haven't met very many. And I think that's partly to do with the fact that a lot of my friends are van builders. Don't even know how that happened. That happened somehow. And yeah, so I would love to meet her. Jenna Santa Cruz, maybe. Ah, there it is. Yeah, that one. um, who would I want to meet? It's a van lifer. Oh my gosh. Not Van City Van Life anymore. What is his new channel called? Chrome. Chrome has been a huge, like, I watched his videos when I started. I remember when I did my first van build, there were a few projects I did when I was building out my floor, like in between it, because it was my very first project. And I was so nervous about using a drill and just all the different things the basic skills. And so to my parents' luck, I picked up a lot of different projects around the house. I built my mom an in-ground garden, and I fixed a lot of things around the kitchen, like redid some walls and then like repainted everything and sanded it down, and just some really basic projects where I would get to learn how to use power tools. And the whole time I was binge watching Chrome's videos, like, that's gonna be me one day. And it is. And it is now. Um, the Chrome project, yes. Um, yes, the Chrome project. Who else? I met oh my gosh, who did I meet recently? What is her channel name? RX Van Life? Is that what it is? I met her. Super sweet, super nice. Got to see her van in person. Loved the van. That was great. Um, who else do I watch? What are some of your guys' favorite channels to watch? Do I watch Rosa? Is this Rosa? No. Is that Trent the Traveler makes great videos. Like that dude, I mean, he went to school for film. So that makes sense. Makes great videos. Great storyteller. Like epic videos. Um, Rosa. Yeah, send me a photo of your van. My email is my name at gmail.com. So send me some photos, some power supply solutions. I'm always looking for ways to upgrade my van because the power, I thought the power was the problem for a while, but I'm realizing it's not the power, it's the fridge is pulling too much. So I was really looking around trying to find things. Oh, someone asked me earlier who I'm partnering with lately. I partnered with Optiplex Solar, and I have their solar bag. And I made a video of that. But I already made it, and I sent the video off to them. But so in my head it was already passed. But anyway, so that's a solar blanket essentially, and it's 400 watts, but takes up less space than a 200-watt hard panel. So that's so great. I tried to get a generator. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be that useful for me because of the usage scenarios. getting a little toasty. Sarah Floss. I feel like I recognize that name. There are so many van lifers. I feel like when I started out, it was like everyone knew the like 20 channels that there were. And now I feel like I'm always finding new channels and new people to watch. Life in My Element. I think I do watch their channel. I recognize that name. No, I do love Trent's channel. I also watch some of Ryan Toomey's channel sometimes. I watch some of Nikki's channels. I think they're like the three biggest van life channels. I watch some of their content sometimes. Um, who else do I watch? I don't know. I don't know. I want to get into watching more van life videos. Van Build. Oh my gosh, what is that guy who makes the killer van build videos? I'm like asking you like you're gonna know what's in my brain. But you are gonna know this. Someone out there is gonna know this. There's a guy, Grit Friel. It's gonna come to me. Give it a minute. Yeah, I saw Chrome is having a meetup, and I wish I was, I think he's on the West Coast though. I think he's Northwest, right? Um, and so I don't think I'll be able to make that. There also is one for Route 66, which I thought was super cool. I would love to do a road trip down Route 66 with my van. That'd be so much fun. Project of Science. I almost want to. Let's see if my internet's working. Let's go to subscriptions for funsies. Charlie Grace. I just met her, and she was at Peace Love Vans. Oh, she just posted a video about female safety. Solid. Love that. Sarah Yak. I watched so many of her videos. I think she's super cool. I love her videos. Her van came out so well. We bought our vans at the same time and like finished them up at the same time. So watching her videos has been very encouraging, and I like watching those. Who else? Now I'm just doing this for fun. Partly because I want to find that person I was talking about. Nomadic Introvert has some great videos. I don't know this person's name that I'm looking for. And I feel like if I scroll through, see if I can put it in. Oh, okay. Greg Virgo. His videos on van building are great. And there's, oh my gosh, there's another guy who's like everyone's favorite, but I'm literally not thinking of his name right now, and I apologize. Sandy Van says some awesome builds, yeah, and they did them really fast. Explorer X, is that what I said? What did I say earlier? I think I said a RX van life or something like that. That's what I was talking about earlier. Nomad Brad, I've seen his videos. They're pretty great. Trying to think. Yeah, I would say the ones I watch the most are probably Sarah Yak's videos. I find I like to. Oh, Casey Johnson. I like her video. Oh my gosh, who's that girl who lives in a bus in like England? Josie, gorgeous girl. Love her aesthetic. Love her vibes. Explorer's Life is great for electrical videos for sure. Oh, Cheap RV Living. I mean, always a reliable option to learn stuff. Also, I don't know any of these people or anything about them. So if like there's a scandal behind one of them, don't quote me on these things, because there was one guy, and I won't say his name, but I was watching his videos, and I was watching them like all of the time, and I thought they were great. And then I learned he allegedly, according to the internet, like punched someone and broke their jaw. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, that's I don't know. Those are the ones I would say I watched the most. Even and Beck did go way back. I definitely watched them during my first van build, but now they do less van life stuff. But I did watch. I think they're actually getting back into a van now. Um, Aim in a van. Love her. I love her fashion style. I love that. Like she's always. Like, I love her outfits, and I just think she's so effortless. It's like effortlessly cool. And she's making a film now. I think she's so cool. Um, Humble Road. That is the guy I was talking about. That I was like couldn't remember the name of, but I'm like, his videos are great. That's the one. His videos are so great. Yeah. I love watching a good van life vlog. There's so much to learn. I feel like you can always learn something, and I feel like I'm always finding something new, which is nice and it's great. Um, have I ever been to Massachusetts or New Hampshire? So yes, I'm actually from Pennsylvania originally, and I lived in Salem, Massachusetts during Halloween for about 6 months, and I lived in Vermont for 8 months, both in my van, on the streets. um, at that time, though, I was not making social media content. I was working full-time jobs, and I loved it. I loved Salem. And every year I'm like, I'm gonna go back. Hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day. Where do I live? That's a complicated question. It's different every single day. And right now I am very south, we'll say, because I don't want to say the city, obviously, on the internet. Um, Thank you. From Oregon, I want to go to Oregon, and not just because. Oh no, I'm thinking of Forks. Forks, Washington, bucket list. Oregon. I just think like the rain jungle vibes. That would be great to go to. I did go to Oregon already in the van. I went to the last Blockbuster. That was a necessity. I went to Bend, Oregon. I think that's a van life capital that everyone goes to, which is pretty great. Lauren Lawless has great van build videos. Her build video, her electrical video, girl. Okay, I thought her videos were so good. Like, she talks how my brain works, and I appreciate that. Like, she covers every detail. That girl is so smart. She's like so to the point. Killer videos every time. So great. Um, my favorite state to live in and why, and my least favorite. Okay, favorite state to live in the van. It might be Florida. Maybe I'm biased because that's the most recent and I'm having a great time. But I feel like on the East Coast it's hard to find free camping, and I found a lot of free camping here that's actually like in like beautiful forest jungle areas. And I feel like that's very hard in the Northeast, but I do love the Northeast. I'm not as much of a West Coast person just because I love like the history and I love the small towns and I love how everything is so close together on the East Coast. Also, I was born and raised on the East Coast, so I'm very biased. I will get to the West Coast. I'm going to do every national park, I swear. But right now, the East Coast, there's always something special and weird and funky to do and so close together. And it just always feels like home. I actually lived in Florida for 4 years in my, like, I want to say like from 19 to 23, maybe? Some around that time period. Something like that. I used to work in Disney World and I used to work in Universal, and those were great times. I feel like that was the moment for me where I got the spark for van life, where like wanting excitement every single day came from. Because when you work at Disney and I was working on a roller coaster, so I was operating roller coasters, and you're standing there most of the day with like your hand on a button, and you're just like pressing the button, checking lap bars, like pull up on your lap bar, 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 over hours. Okay, hours. Okay, but that sounds boring, right? But you're doing that for a while, and then out of nowhere at any moment in the day, someone can try to literally do something so crazy they're going to get themselves, you know, um, at any moment. And it's terrifying, and it's like you got to be on your game at any point, and you never know what's going to happen. Because you're in like a serious like safety environment. And people will just jump in the tracks, and I'm literally not making that up. People will literally just jump in the tracks. They'll be like, oh, my Mickey ears fell, I'm gonna go in there, as a train comes in, like a roller coaster huge vehicle comes towards them, you don't get a moment, okay? Because the second that happens, you got to react. Working in Disney is not for the weak, or at least on roller coasters. Actually, just working in Disney in general. I worked Main Street in Disneyland in California, and I just worked retail there. I did not get a roller coaster job, which made me really sad. I also, okay, so I worked Expedition Everest and I worked Rock and Roller Coaster. And Rock and Roller Coaster, rest in peace. I will cry if I think about it too much. Um, and I also worked a test track for a very short time. So some of the biggest roller coasters in Disney World, and it was exhilarating. The Disney College program is one of the best opportunities. I did it because I was just struggling in college emotionally, and I just needed to take a break and just get away and like grow up almost in a way, like go experience life outside of a classroom for the first time. And so I was like, okay, 6 months DCP, the college program, I'll go back to college afterwards. I'll have found myself, I'll grow, I'll see the world a little bit. And oh my goodness, I never went back to college. It's hard to go back once you realized how open the world can be and how many opportunities you can have instead of sitting in a classroom. And I just felt like, so during my Disney College program, it was the first time I think I had a car for the first time as well. I did not have a car in college because you don't really need a car in college. So I was then learning like, oh, I can travel all over the place on the weekends and I can go everywhere. And Orlando has so much. And so how I started van life is I was at a Taylor Swift concert and the traffic was really bad. And so I was like, I'm just going to take a little nap instead of sitting in this and wasting gas. So I fell asleep and I woke up at 3 a.m. ish, like middle of the night, but still like early morning. And I was like, oops, well, I guess I might as well just stay in Miami and travel. And then I did. And I saw so many incredible, incredible things. And I had a great day. And I was like, did I just hack life? Did I just figure out the secret? Because usually I would not, like, Miami was far from, or I was in Tampa. I was not in Miami. I was in Tampa. I was in Tampa. Usually I would not drive that far down and then just to drive back to travel. But when I stepped in my car, I was like, I'm not paying for hotels. Like gas is, like I'm paying gas once instead of twice. And I just like I found like the greatest hack in the world. And I did. And I've been addicted ever since. So I car camped for I want to say 2 years. And on the weekends, the great thing about Disney is you can hack the days off system to pretty much have off whenever you want. You can literally call out like I want to say it was like 3 times a month if you use the system just right. And there's always someone to take your shift, or at least back then there was. It's been a few years. So I would just take big chunks of time off and I would just go travel and I would sleep in my car. And it was not well thought out. There was no fridge, so I always ate out. I was definitely like hiding under like blankets in the back so no one could see me because I didn't have window covers, I didn't have bug nets, I didn't have any kind of AC. It was not well thought out, but I was so excited and so energized by this and all the things that I was seeing that I would do it all of the time. And I loved it. And I was excited for the weekend to do this. And then when I signed up for the Disneyland college program in California and I drove across, I slept in my car for a month straight. And at that point, that was the greatest experience of my life because I had never, I mean, I was national park after national park after national park. Halfway through, I was like, I'm going to totally change my itinerary. And I just changed it all around. And I went so many incredible places from, I want to say, like through Michigan, Minnesota, down through Utah, like all the national parks in that area. I hiked Angel's Landing. I went to Zion. All of it was, I literally cannot compare that trip to anything. Like it was magical. However, the last like week of that trip, I started getting very sick because as I said, like I had a cooler, but the ice would melt and make the food gross. I wasn't sleeping well for a month straight at that point because I was sleeping crunched over in a very hot car. I remember, I think I was at like Black Canyon of the Gunnison or Great Sands National Park. And I remember that night being difficult to find a spot to sleep because back then I had only been finding spots for a few months and it was like on weekends only. So I was still very new to it. Now I'm like, I can find a spot with no problem. At one point, I slept in a CVS parking lot, and I'm like, why did I choose a CVS? Like that still gets me. Um, what? Um, but that was before COVID, and a lot of places before COVID used to be 24 hours, so you could get away with a lot more and go a lot more places. Now places aren't 24 hours as much anymore. But yeah, so I was sitting in my car. I got very sick towards the end, and I was struggling, and I It's like, I want to do this more. I want to do this all of the time. I remember I was driving through Utah and I looked up at the sky and I could see, I, I'm not an astrologist, so not the right words, but like the Milky Way, like, or like how it's like all creamy, like lines through the stars. And I had never seen the sky so clear. And I was like, I want to do this forever. And now I do. Now I do. I'm on my second van build, and I know I made a video recently called I think I'm ruining my life, and I meant it because I really was struggling with van life at that point, because I the van build exhausted me. I could not do another van build. If I totaled this van, I would buy it the next van. I will not be doing another van build unless I'm like 8 years down the line and I need one and I don't have the finances. The next one will be bought or there'll be nothing in it. I saw this thing once that said, your first van is like your learning experience. It's all things you think you want, but you don't really know. Your second one is over the top perfection. You've learned so much, you know what you want. It's everything that you could possibly dream of is in it, and that's what this van is for me. But your third van has like nothing in it. You don't care. You realize you don't need all the fancy gadgets. You just need to be out there, and I would say that's so true. If I have a third van, it's going to be so minimal, very little, because I won't have the energy to do a third van build. And also, I really don't need a lot. It is nice to have a lot, to feel like I have a little mansion back here, but yeah. So I don't know what the point of that story was. I don't remember. Um, um, I know I'm very far behind on questions. I'm so sorry. Oh, favorite state and least favorite state. Favorite state, Florida. Least favorite state. Oh my gosh, New York. I love New York. I scared Betty with that one. I love New York. New York's great. Not the easiest to van life in, but I think I've done it long enough to figure it out. And there's no other way to live in New York City unless you've got money coming out everywhere. So it's provided me the opportunity to be able to live in New York City, which I love. I love so much. So least favorite. Oh my gosh. When I was car camping, I went to Chicago. That probably wasn't my smartest move. Oh, or Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I think, wins. Because Chicago, I think I tried it and then I was like, and didn't stay the whole night. I did go. I saw six off Broadway before it was on Broadway, the musical, and I got deep dish pizza and I saw the Bean. So, and I went to their Nutella cafe. They had a Nutella cafe at that time, so it was a great, incredible day, and I loved it. But then I got right out of there. But Philadelphia is my least favorite, even though I am from Pennsylvania. I heard shotguns. Like I heard a gun go off near my car. I have a whole vlog on it. I heard a gun go off near my car. I'm assuming it was a gun. Someone said it could have been fireworks. Either way, I'm sitting in here thinking it was a gun, which is I don't say it's equally as scary, but since nothing else happened, I still have to sit there unknowing the rest of the night. Saw a person run at someone else with a brick in McDonald's drive-through, and I'm sitting there in the drive-through and I can't go anywhere, and they're like fighting right next to me and like with the brick. Um, saw a guy breaking into cars in a casino, and I thought, I'm sitting in the front seat and he'd been walking around like patrolling the cars, like I'm saying patrolling. He's like looking in, like testing the doors, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And then we made eye contact, and he like walked away a bit, and I'm like, I don't know what to do in this scenario. Philadelphia, no, I'm so sorry. I do want to do a Rocky vlog and kind of do like the Shrek vlog vibe where I recreate a bunch of scenes from Rocky in Philadelphia. So I will go back one day. It will happen. You rocked it at NASCAR. NASCAR. Okay, so I made 3 vlogs at Pocono Raceway. I also made 3 vlogs at the Daytona 500. Daytona 500 I was like crying. I was so happy. And I tried to go to Martinsville, tried to go to a few different ones. And I've been looking at them. I was looking at Talladega. I hear it's the craziest one. I was looking at it, but I'm just not going to be able to make it work right now because of my schedule, and I'm very sad. But that's okay. That's okay. I know I'll get to another one this year. But eventually I'll get to every single race. That is my big bucket list. This is not a bus. This is just a van. This is just a van, not a bus. I'm probably so far behind. Sorry. Um, where'd it go? Oh, thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. It's my first time doing a live in my new van. I used to do lives in my old van, but it's been quite a while. I don't know. I the problem a little bit was I was so far behind in the van build videos where I felt like it was hard to do a live stream in a van that looked very different from what it was showing it looked like online. But I'm finally pretty much caught up. I only have two more build videos left. The back doors. It's gonna be two different videos. One is the bulletproof material I've added, and then one is the wood, like overlay and how I did that. And then I have like two miscellaneous videos because I feel like people make van build videos and they have like a whole van build series, but then they don't like at the end there was so many things to still do and add and change. And I wanted to document that as well because I feel like when I got into the van build the first time, and even like I forgot the second time around, I feel like I wanted to know everything that I was getting into. And so I want my van build series to literally show every single thing I did. Everything. So there's videos of me finishing everything up and doing all the finishing touches. And then the van tour and the van build time lapse. I'll be making two van build time lapses. And the first one will be like 15 minutes. So it's a reasonable watch time. And the second one, I've been making it this entire time. And it's gonna be like 2 hours. And it's going to document and be a time lapse of everything through the whole van build. And each task, like each video, is about 2 minutes long, to re-show like how I made the upper cabinets, how I made the sink, all condensed down into 2 minutes. And it's going to be really intense. But when I watch it back, I'm like, this is my magnum opus. This is my greatest life accomplishment. Like, I get so proud watching it and to see how far it's come. Where I toured a museum of weird stuff. Meow Wolf is what it's called, and I loved that museum. I I think that was my last week in Vegas, like my last days, and I had thought about going to Meow Wolf for so long, and I finally made it, and I was so happy to be there. It's so weird and so funky. It has like a weird grocery store of all the weirdest things. And yeah, that was great. I love things like that. I also made a video where I found the weirdest things in Maine and I want to recreate that and do that again. And do one in every state and find all of the weirdest things in every state. So that's a big goal for me. But I would say Meow Wolf is definitely one of the weirdest things in Nevada. It is a van. I promise. It's a van. How do I show that it's a van? I don't know. How is Betty doing with me traveling? Betty's doing really well. We had some trouble with her. I originally had a car seat in the front seat I was buckling her into, and she didn't like that because I had to pick her up. She does not like being picked up. So now she's controlled and like buckled into her car seat back here. And she can go in all on her own, and she does great. She's doing really good. She's a little sassy one. So I always feel like I'm like, let me do more for you. Like what can I get you? And she's always just like sleeping. Like does not she's so low maintenance, which is actually really ideal. Like I'll leave the van to go somewhere and I'll be like, I have to get back. Betty misses me. Betty needs me. But I have video camera and I have a temperature monitor, so I can see her and I can check on her. But then I get back and I'm like, I'm back, whatever you need. And she just is like, why are you making noise? I was sleeping. Like she's almost like leave, actually. She does like to sit in the front seat now, which I think is because there's less sway up there. So if I'm back here and I'm moving, it it moves and she can feel it move. And I can tell because I have a projector screen right here. Oh, sorry, babe. So when I move, it moves and I can tell how much the van back here is shaking. So she likes to sit in the front seat because she can't feel the shaking. And also if I'm talking, she can't hear it. Ideal. I have been to Minnesota, not in this van or my first van, but when I was car camping, I did go to Minnesota. I I went to the Mall of America. I think that was like the only thing that I did. But I did go. I did go. The Buffalo Bills game was great. I've been thinking about maybe trying to stealth camp every single NFL stadium and doing essentially like where I go around and I find the tailgating traditions of each team because Buffalo Bills and the table breaking, intense, very intense. If you did not watch that vlog, it got really serious, it got really intense. And my little brother and my dad went, I'm sorry to talk really fast because I think I've been on live now for like 2 hours. My dad and my brother were there, And my little brother was on crutches from having like his second ACL surgery. And so he's literally crimping. He's he's literally limping. I'm struggling with words. I'm so sorry. And people were being so mean to him and being like, trip that kid. And then someone at the end of the night came up and tried to actually trip him. And like, he's wearing a Chiefs jersey in Buffalo Bills territory. I get it. But he's a literal underage child. And they are trying, like, this girl came up to him, ran at him, and like swiped his crutch, like literally swiped his crutch to try to make him fall because he was a Chiefs fan. It's not that serious. It's just not. I'm so sorry. Do I own a projectile? We'll call it. I do. I have a safe in here for it. That I don't know if I should show or not where I put it because I don't know about the things I should put on the internet or not. But I do own one, and I have security cameras so I can watch all around me at all times. So I definitely do. I want to do a video where I talk about the laws for those in every state as you travel and how it changes because I've always wanted like a detailed go through of that. So I want to find like a cop or someone who I could sit down with and be like, tell me the laws of every state, tell me everything I have to know to have one in a vehicle. Berna is a really great company as well. That is how you can be able to travel all 50 states, go internationally, I believe, and not have to worry about as many laws, but that's the whole thing. Again, I want to research more on that. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind in the chat. I'm so sorry. Tell me your exact date of birth. January 6th. I know. 1997. My favorite joke is to tell people that and I'm sorry if this is not tasteful to some people. I'm very sorry. Is that January 6th is one of had a historical event that was one of the best things to happen to our country. And then I wait for him to be shocked that I would say that. And then I'm like, it's my birthday. And I am. Obviously, it's a joke. But people always, it's January 6th. What are you going to do? Really interesting fact about my family. Everyone's birthday is on a tragedy, like an American tragedy, except my little sister. And I tell her, I'm like, just wait, it'll happen for you because it's happened. Like mine didn't happen till recently. So December 18th, everyone, look out. Something bad's gonna happen that day eventually. The way she can join us in our horrible birthday tradition. I feel like that's being sent to the FBI or something. Like, if that wasn't a threat by me, just to be clear. Okay, now I'm so nervous. So the van you posted when making it is that one. Yes, this is the van that I've been building out in videos for a very long time now. It is fully finished. I'll be filming the van tour next week. When I say fully finished, there's still things that are breaking left and right. These drawers don't stay closed when I drive. The sink turns off, or the sink doesn't work. The fridge turns off. Those hinges are broken. The AC leaks. Van life. I do have a ProMaster, and as I was saying in the beginning, I lately have been wondering if I regret that decision and maybe should have gone for a Ford for the all-wheel drive, but I had a ProMaster in my first van build as well, so I just felt more comfortable with it, and also I like the width. So, because even now, I'm too tall to be sleeping this way. I'm 5'9", and I have to sleep on an angle, and for the longest time I was like, what's the problem? You just put your body on a little bit of an angle when you go to sleep, like, problem solved. Now, no. I almost want to go back and make a cutout in the bed. Just because I'm so irritated that I can't just lay straight. I don't know why it bothers me so much. In my first van, I want to say it was like a centimeter. It was just a teeny bit, but this time it's much more off. And I don't think I did anything different. Same spacers, same framing. I also wonder if instead of adding, this is going to be maybe a crazy take that I don't know how I feel about, and I'm just putting it out there, that I have not thought through. The idea of framing, right? And the framing wood that you put up, like the 1x3s and stuff that you screw into the van. Why did I do that? Why did we all do that? Why don't we just screw the wood right into the van? It does give you more space for insulation for sure, but now I've lost an inch on both sides. Well, 3/4 inch on both sides. And I could use that. I could definitely use that. On your kitchen, oh, it went away. On your kitchen, where'd it go? On your kitchen cabinet video, how did you handle painting the edges of your ply where the layers show? Almost looked like you painted the edge banding. Painted the edges of your ply where the layers show. Yeah, I put edge banding on and then I painted the edge banding. So this is all edge banding. All around the edges, and then I just painted that. Which is great everywhere except here and right here. So high traffic areas, the edge banding is just wearing down. Pretty bad. I feel I need to redo that. Like the paint's like coming off of that one, and the paint's pretty much already off this one. So great on the cabinets. They're not high traffic like me rubbing up. Like my legs sit in rub here, and then I touch this every time I go up in and out of the bed. So hopefully that was a helpful answer. The Museum of Questionable Medical Devices? Okay, you've convinced me I need to go to Minnesota. That sounds great. Hi, first time seeing you on here. I roughed it out one winter. Yeah, roughing it out. I roughed it out when I was living in Vermont. I had a broken heater essentially, and I'd wake up in -4 degrees. -4 degrees. Okay, -4 Fahrenheit. And I couldn't move. I couldn't move. My hands were frozen, and I would do that for months. What was I doing? What was I doing? Um, I don't know what I was doing. It was terrible. Anyone who's roughing it out in a van right now, I applaud you. Um, it's tough, and it taught me that you don't have to rough it out if you don't have to. Like I'll be the kind of person who's like, I can do it, I can handle it, I can take it. No, no, you can't take it. What is that from? Oh, um, Infinity War, when he's like, I'm gonna shoot your guy, and then Drax is like, I can take it, and Mantis is like, no, he can't take it. That's me. How many siblings do I have? I have. This is a complicated question. Okay, an older brother, and then a younger brother, 2 younger sisters, and that's it. Why did it take me so long to figure that out? My family took in foster children for many years, and so the number changed a lot. Okay, I'm trying to catch up on all the questions. I want to answer as many questions as I can. It's not like I know van life is there's a lot of questions that go into it, and it's very scary to start out. But then once you do it, it's like the most magical thing. Um, your brother was also born on January 6th. It's a small world after all. Sport or Taylor Swift? I think we know which one ranks higher on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You were right. You were born the day 3 Mile Island melted down in PA. That's a day to be born, man. That is. That's a rough one. A van build is never finished, just in various stages of repair. So true. Can't wait to figure out what's gonna break next. That's why I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad. Okay. Oh my goodness. You should definitely build a van if you're thinking about it. Okay, well, I don't know about building. I think if I could go back, I go back and forth on this a lot because if you build out a van, then you're gonna save some money. But then also, like, you're spending so much of your time, and your time is valuable. And I always wonder, like, if could go back, I could have so much of my life back from not building. And I know how to do my job so well, like my job to make money. Like, I can do that easily. I know how to do that. And so it might have been easier in the long run to just do my job and make the money back than it was to learn this whole new skill. But then also, now I have a valuable new skill. And I know how to fix my van. I know every component in it. So there's pros and cons for sure, no doubt. What is my job? My job is changing all the time. So I'm a magazine writer. I'm a journalist for George Magazine. I travel around to, also separately, I travel around to different events and I'll do social media management. The biggest one that I interviewed for lately, wait for it. You're not ready for it. I interviewed recently to do social media marketing for the World Cup in New York, New Jersey. So I haven't gotten anything back yet, and I'm really nervous because it's been a while since I interviewed, and people are starting to get back their applications. So I don't know if it'll happen. But I applied, I put myself out there, and I had to go up to the World Cup offices and in New York City and meet people and take a tour of their building, and it was very cool and very exciting. So who knows? We'll see. I also do YouTube, and YouTube was a full-time thing. My numbers, I took a month off, and now my numbers are significantly down, and so I have not been getting any offers for sponsors at all whatsoever. And when I reach out to companies, they're not as interested because my numbers are about 10,000 views on average. And so, okay, so in January, part of why I had to take that like month break was YouTube demonetized a huge chunk of my videos. And basically what happened was I was using an app called Splice to edit, and they had a catalog of free music, and I was using that music for the first 2 years of making videos, and all of a sudden they've copyrighted so many of those videos. So I've lost a huge chunk of my income. And that was just really defeating because I feel like as a YouTuber content creator, in the content that I'm making evergreen content that can always be searched up and always be making money is how you make money. Because a single video is not going to make that much money, but if you add up over time, okay, I have 200 videos and they're each making $2-3 a week. That's a lot. It's hard to complicate, but you get the point. Like a little bit adds up, but maybe you have one video that's doing really well and like the rest of them aren't doing it. Just either way, it's evergreen content was what makes money in the long run. And making long form content. I do not make like any money from short form content. But point being, they demonetized a huge chunk of my videos because I essentially I was using music that was free at the time, and then someone copyrighted the entire catalog, and so I just lost so much money. So many of my videos got copyrighted, and that was really defeating because I feel like I was making this like epic scrapbook of my van life experience, and it was what was funding being a van lifer, and now that's gone. And you know, um, so am I going to Coachella? No, not yet. One day. I'm not a big festival person, but I love trying everything once. I want to do everything once. I want to go to every weird, cool, big festival that I can find and vlog it and just share the experience one time. That's what I want to do. um, it makes so much money. Why does it change all the time? So I'm not that great at it. I'm not that great at it. But it does often change. I think YouTube, especially, is when you make money, it's a cycle. You hit highs where like you have a video that does well, and then you have lows. And I find that everyone's having that experience. So that's a great question, but I'm not making that much money. But the great thing about van life is that I don't have that many expenses. Like, so if I am struggling with money, I can just drive less and I can not have to refill my gas tank as much. And I just stay in one spot. I'm not paying rent. Then I'm just buying food. Crazy. And I have to pay like insurance, pay for a gym membership, all that kind of stuff. Um, but the expenses versus when I lived in a house are definitely very different. So that is a perk. But I definitely wouldn't say I'm making a lot. Mini comedy sketches. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello from New Zealand. That is one of my dream trips. I want to do a Lord of the Rings trip. That is like my dream. One day I will get there. Is Betty adapting well? She is. She's doing really good. She's sleeping at my feet right now. She looks like she's just totally passed out at my feet. She's been doing really well. And I think what she needs the most is just attention all day, and that is what she is getting. And so she's very happy. Residuals on the old stuff is what keeps the income coming in for creators of all sorts. Exactly, which is why when I lost it, it was like devastating. I want to say I lost over the span of 2 weeks when the copyrights started coming in. I lost easily like 1,500 a month, and I was only making like 1,800 a month on a good month. And now I'm making it. The month that I took off, I made $200 from YouTube AdSense. Like that's rough. It's rough. 200's not enough to sustain somebody. Um, so yeah, it's pretty rough. I lost a lot of that evergreen content. That stuff that was making me consistent income is now gone. So I'm not sure how I'm dealing with that yet. It's tough because I don't feel like it's my fault. It was a free catalog from this app that told me it was free. Now I use a website called Epidemic Sound that says that they will help you if you get in that kind of situation and make sure they never copyright any of their catalog. But the other app didn't have that, so now I'm just kind of stuck. So, have I thought about turning memberships on? You can earn 70. My problem is like I have a Patreon, and I never know what to say. The thing about Patreon, and I think someone said earlier, like, oh, you should post on Patreon more. Every time I post on Patreon, I lose subscribers. So it's so confusing because if I do nothing, the numbers go up. And then when I post and I share something, or I share like a little video of wherever I am, or I give a little van life tip, people unsubscribe. And I'm like, I feel scared to post. It's a very weird situation. Um, where do you keep your bike? This is a very sensitive topic, okay? I made a beautiful bike rack in the back that pulled out for my folding e-bike. And I loved that e-bike. I loved it. I cherished it. I rode around Pocono's race, the racetrack at Pocono 400 with it, and it was euphoric. And I was like, I'm going to take this bike to every racetrack. And I joined a bike group out in Vegas, like biked Las Vegas Strip in the middle of the night, all dark, lights going up, like incredible. Loved that e-bike. I think an e-bike for van life. Like I didn't have it the first time. Now that I had it and I've used it, love it. So once I put this slide out table in right here, the e-bike no longer fit on the slide. And so I don't have the e-bike. I only have my e-scooter. And I'm devastated actually. And I haven't figured out how to fix it. Like I could lay it sideways, then it takes up so much space that it's questionable if it's worth it because I don't use it that much. But when I use it, it's euphoric. So I could cut out the parts of the sound in videos with copyrights, but the problem is a lot of them have voiceovers over it that explain either what I'm doing or what like you're seeing in the video. So to cut it out, I'd cut out the voiceover and you can't add in a new voiceover. Like I couldn't go back and redo it. I could only add in a song over that copyrighted song. So I don't think it's worth the video losing the integrity of the video. Like it wouldn't be, if it's a van build video, I don't want to lose out like the instructional part of the video. So I could re-upload them, but they're not going to have the same numbers. My channel, I would understand why people would not want to. It's like Taylor Swift re-releasing, like Tori's version with proper music. I could understand why people would not re-watch them, and it would hurt my channel in the long run. So that is what it is. Um, oh, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. On average, how long do you stay in one place, one region, and how do you get back and forth across the country multiple times a year? So I would say I get across the country one time a year. This year, it might be two. But across the country to me also includes like Maine to Florida, which I've done this year once. And then I'm thinking I might go like East Coast to West Coast once. Not sure. I really want to do Route 66 for the 100th anniversary, but it might not happen. I'm not sure what I'm doing 100% yet. But so I would say I've gone last year I went to Oregon, then I lived in San Diego, lived in Vegas, then drove back across the country again. So about one time a year. It's rough because really, before I made videos, I lived in one spot for 6 months. I'd pick a spot, I would get a side job, the small, cute little job. I worked at the Ben and Jerry's ice cream factory in Vermont, and I was supposed to be a tour guide of the factory, but then COVID made that complicated, so I ended up just scooping ice cream, which is fine. And I lived there, and I lived in a Walmart parking lot for 6 months, and stayed there for months and months. And then I was a witch at the Salem Witch Dungeon in Salem during Halloween. And I was only like 3 months, but incredible job. I lived like in this little green area in Salem, and it was beautiful. So I stayed there for 6 months, and I would park in this little greenway that was a walk's distance from my job. But then when I had to shower, when I had to go to the grocery store, I would drive maybe like 10 minutes out and come back. And that was a beautiful, perfect spot. I was over the moon happy every single day with that job. And so that's what it was like before when I had a part-time job, full-time job, different situations. Now that I work online, or I work at events, and I'm like a journalist, I do YouTube, all those different things, I would say I stay in one place. So it depends, right? So this month, I've been in one place for a chunk of time. And then what I'll do is I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go film this, or I want to go to this event. And then when that event comes, I'll go travel to that event. And then it'll probably be like 2 weeks before the next event. So I'll live near that area and not travel far for a while. And then when the next event comes, then I'll travel to that area and go to that area for that event. And I kind of just go by events or where I want to go to travel. Um, but right now I've been doing a lot of editing and not too much traveling because I've had to catch up on all of the van build videos. So it's been a lot of just literally being in one place. I stayed in Tampa. I had like 6 different sleep spots. I would just go around, and that was it. So I would say I actually do stay in one place quite often. The thing about YouTube though is you don't really see that. You don't, because what happens, right? Like I vlog when I go to the events. I personally don't do a lot of in between vlogs, so it looks like I'm traveling all of the time when the majority is me sitting in bed editing. So hopefully that answers your question, but thank you. And I like how any long tool must become a lightsaber. Yes, a lightsaber or Gandalf's staff. That's a rough one. I pick it up and then it becomes a short one becomes a magic wand. I can't help myself. I heard about ENFP type in M. I have not. Have I installed the flux capacitor yet? No. It's right here. I don't know if you knew I really had one, but I really do have one. Not fully operational. It does light up though when it's plugged in. And it will be installed up in the front. I also have a Minecraft torch and the Lord of the Rings Eye of Jade. So they say when you live in a van, you gotta really pick only special things, and that's what I did. I could also live off Ben and Jerry's, but I actually became lactose intolerant from eating so much Ben and Jerry's when I worked there. It's now gone away. I'm not lactose intolerant anymore, but it was a phase I went through from eating Ben and Jerry's every single day during my shifts because you could eat as much as you want on your shift. And then at the end of the day, every day you were allowed to take home 3 pints, 3 pints of Ben and Jerry's every day. So I became lactose intolerant. Is my van registered as an RV or commercial truck? It's not, but I've actually been considering. I was going to reach out to my insurance company and to the place I'm registering my vehicle through and ask if I should change it over to an RV and if it would help the insurance costs. So I've been thinking about it. But right now I think it's just neither of those. So a commercial vehicle, right? That's what my ID says. I think commercial vehicle. Um, well, I ate a lot of ice cream. I probably looked like it more than it was a few years ago. Have I ever seen a medieval dueling tournament? Okay, I've been to a few Ren fairs, and I have been to medieval times. Have I ever seen a real intense one. I think the like tournaments and the festivals are pretty serious. So I'd say yes. And I do love it. And I almost went to the Florida Renaissance Fair. It didn't work out in the end, unfortunately, but I'll definitely be getting to another Renaissance Fair sometime soon. I felt bad because I was going to go to the Renaissance Fair and film that, but then I had just gone to a pirate festival and I'm like, those are like back to back two very similar things. So I didn't end up going. Any traffic tickets? I have not ever gotten a ticket in a van. Not once. Yeah, no. Knock on wood. I've gotten a knock a few times, but I've never had anyone like do anything about it. They just go, "Hey, can you move?" And then I move. Not as scary as it sounds. Do you like your iPhone? I heard it's great. I like my phone. Uh, Indifferent. Way overpriced. You know what I mean? I do use my phone to film all of my videos, so I would say the camera is pretty great. She might jump. Did my coworkers ever realize I was living in a van? This is a great question. So I had the funniest inside joke with myself where I would make side comments. I didn't tell anyone. And I would just make side comments to people where, hi, baby. Yeah. Good morning. Where I would just make side jokes to people. And I would say things like, someone told me their pipes froze over because it was winter in Vermont. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have that problem. My house doesn't have any pipes. Like, I would just make side comments. You would walk into the freezer and I'd be like, dang, this thing's bigger than my house. It was like a little bit bigger than the van. And I would just say things. And I'd be like, yeah, my house has no bathroom. And that was the one that got someone. They were like, what? Like, they finally stopped being like, oh, this girl is weird. And they were like, Tori, do you live in your van? And then someone else was like, at one point in a different time, someone was like, yeah, I never park near that big red creepy van in the parking lot. And that was like my closest friend at work that I joked with, talked to all day. And I like turned to them and I was like, that's my van. That's me. Like the scariest person there, obviously. Which at that point, that was like a click moment for me, living in a van, to remember that I am scared of other people because I'm living in a van and I'm scared what might happen, but also I am scary to other people. Like I'm a big white van, they don't know what's gonna happen. So that was a great wake up call for me. Which also was a wake up call. I was parked in Salem and I was parked near a children's park and someone called the cops and said there was a suspicious white van near a children's park. So I learned that lesson again. That was actually afterwards. But yeah, we're constantly learning lessons in this lifestyle. But yeah, they realized I was living in a van, and then it's like all of the energy changed. It went from this is a funny joke thing that I do that I laugh at to myself to just pity, like pity. They were very like offering me things like food. You can come over if you ever need anything. If you need a place to park, if you need extra shifts, like do you need money? And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. I live in a van because I love it and I choose to and I want to. And I feel like I'm doing better than you, which is a weird thing to say maybe, but like this is my dream life. This is everything I've ever wanted. This is me living my life to the fullest and being able to go anywhere anytime and not have to pay rent and like imagine like what I can do with an extra $1,200 every month that I used to be spending on rent. You know what I mean? Like incredible. So they definitely pitied me for a while after that, and then I felt weird. One time they called me at the office after my managers found out and they were like, sweetie. So I one time, so sometimes I would after a long shift I would sit in my van in the parking lot and I would just like eat chips and be like, that was an exhausting shift. And I would stay there until pretty late. Someone would go down and I'm like, all right, I gotta go. And the next day, after I had stayed late, but not slept there, the managers called me into the office and they were like, sweetie, you can't stay here. Do you need help? It's like, the only thing that needs help is like that bag of chips from me. Because I will down, if I have nacho cheese, I will down a whole bag of chips. I will like practically drink nacho chip, like cheese. I like can't buy it because it will be gone in an hour. But yeah, point being, they were all trying to be so nice. So I don't, they weren't being mean. They were trying to have good intentions and be kind and considerate people. But it was awkward after that because they all thought I was homeless. So some people get van life, some people don't. That's just how it is. Um, do you have any aspirations to be an actress or on-screen talent outside of YouTube? No, no. But okay, no, but things like being an actress in Salem, like I was on stage for a small audience of people, loved that. I loved that. It was just so much fun. Like my job was nonsense. So I would go on stage, we would perform this recreation of the Salem witch trials. Then afterwards, we would take rotations of who was doing a tour. So when it was my turn, I would go out and then I would give a presentation about what the Salem witch trials was really like, which is holy macaroni and cheese balls. So fascinating. So fascinating. Obviously, there were no witches, but so that's why it's so fascinating is what people could convince each other of and what people convinced, like what people in charge were able to convince people of in order to get their land and their money. Like, I mean, it's fascinating history. I would go back because I feel like you can always dig in further and loved it. So I loved that job. And I forgot the question. Oh, right. um, then I would go and I'd give a presentation, then we would give them a tour of the dungeon. And then the third rotation that you could get was sitting in the dungeon, like the recreated dungeon in the basement, sit in a cell, and then you put a whole like a hood over your head. And when people walk by, they think you're like another one of like the animatronics or like the dolls, and then you jump out at them. And I literally made a grown man pee his pants. And that's like one of my greatest accomplishments in life. So and I didn't have to clean it up. So great job. Loved it. Great people. But okay, so for example, that job that paid like nothing. It paid so bad. But I could only do that and have that job that I loved and was so passionate about because I was living in a van on the street outside of the job. And at that point, so this is really interesting actually. And I had never put this together. When I lived in Salem, people at my job knew I lived in the van, but they thought it was cool. But the difference was between Salem and Vermont was that in Vermont I didn't have social media. I didn't have like a following for it. I just had the ability to be like, oh, it's like hashtag van life, like on YouTube and stuff. Um, but they didn't see that. They just saw like pity. But now that I have a YouTube channel, I I worked in Salem, people were like, that's so cool. And they wanted to hear more about it and they wanted to tour the van and it had a completely different perception. That's really interesting to me. But when I was working in Salem as well, when I was at that job, there was this wonderful woman who knew so much about Salem and the history. And she was just, I mean, she was really ingrained and she knew so much and it was fabulous. Like her explanation of why the not rye bread, what was that? It's like a whole Netflix documentary on how like what was happening was a disease that got in the bread and then like limbs. She has a whole explanation of why this like Netflix series thing that was like this is why witch trials happened. It was a disease, like is not factual at all, and it was literally based off of a paper. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go into this. It's fascinating. A paper that a girl wrote for a college like thesis statement and did like no history. It was just like her theory, and then Netflix went with it because it got popular and it was not real or realistic at all because what would happen with that disease was limbs would turn black and fall off, and there's no history or record of anyone like dying in that way. So it was 100% just corruption. Fascinating. What was the point of this? Oh, right. So she came up to me at one point and she was like, "Hey, I just I can't afford my house anymore. Like I'm thinking of having to move into my car. Could you help me figure out how to do that?" And I was so heartbroken at that because this wonderful woman who's a wealth of knowledge, incredible at her job, couldn't afford her house anymore because she was doing this job that she was passionate and so talented at, but yet didn't pay enough. And that's just the reality. And so that really broke my heart. But I'm glad that I have it's heartbreaking to me because I have the ability to help people be able to transition and know what to do, but I don't have the ability to be able to help stop people from having to pick that route who don't want that route. If you choose van life, that's so amazing. It's incredible and I love it. People who don't choose this lifestyle, my heart breaks for. It's not for everybody. And having to go into it definitely is a different mindset and totally different scenario. But Have I run into any ambulance conversions that you like? Doesn't Nomad Brad have an ambulance conversion on his channel? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? In real life, I have not seen many ambulance conversions. I'm on the East Coast. I don't see many conversions at all in real life. I was always curious how you decide where to park and how you avoid people knocking in the camper. I have like a list of 5 places, like Walmart's, Planet Fitnesses, 24 hours, 24 hours. Cracker Barrels, which fully allow parking. Hotels are like one of my last resorts in an area, and then Overlander. I have never on the East Coast not had success at one of those 5 places, and that's it. That's literally it. I swear it's not hard. It's so easy. It's so easy. And I have had a few knocks, and I've not had any in my new van. We're in March, we're in April, so we're going on January, February, March. Not all of it. 3 months, I think. And I haven't had any knocks, and I've just been doing those 5 things. It's real. I promise you, it's not hard. It's shockingly easy, to the point where sometimes I wake up and I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? But also, that's 5 years of experience and then 5 years of confidence. Like, I find the longer I go without a knock and I haven't gotten one in the new van, the more I'm like, this is great. And I feel more confident to just go out and try new things in new places. But as I was mentioning earlier, Florida has a water management system that has free, like, outdoor, of course, outdoor, jungle, like, forest camping. It's beautiful and wonderful. So I highly recommend it. It's free. You just got to register online. Do you see yourself with a white picket fence, a couple of kids running around, and a dog named something ridiculous? Or is that whole picture still a mystery even to you? Still a mystery even to me. I mean, I've got the most beautiful cat in the whole world. I really don't know how. She's so beautiful. And that's incredible. I've been thinking about making a video about dating and van life and why it complicates things. And I think that was part of why I made that video a while ago that was about, is van life ruining my life? The question is, it makes dating harder. It makes having a serious relationship harder. It makes finding a serious relationship more difficult. I had a friend around that time that I made that video who was like, well, you're just not putting yourself out there enough. Like, and I'm like, I'm going to all these different events all of the time. Like, I'm constantly traveling. I'm in new places, meeting new people. It's really hard to find someone who understands this lifestyle and who can, match with this lifestyle. And they're like, no, you got to get on like a dating app or something. I was like, all right. So I did it. In the first day, I think it's on my phone. I don't have it right now. A guy sent me a message that was literally essentially saying, why do you think you deserve love if you live in a van? I was like, well, we're done. We're done. We're out of here. No, thank you. That was rough. But as far as the white picket house thing, no. I could see myself doing a house reno of like a tiny house, like just like a smaller house, or building a tiny house. But I'll always have the van. Kids are not for me. I will not be having kids. I have a kid. She's the perfect freaking kid. How did my old van flood? Okay. It's not funny, but it is. So 3 years ago, for April Fools, I took a video. I made a video where I went to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I stealth camped and I visited a bunch of different locations from The Office. And that was great. It's wonderful. And I made a lot of Office references and jokes and recreated a bunch of scenes. One of those scenes was when Dwight, I think it's Michael's using the GPS or Dwight's using the GPS, and it says to turn right, and then like there's a lake, and he's like, no, it says to turn right, so I have to go. And he's like, no, it's clearly a lake, you cannot turn there. And he continues to turn and go right into the lake anyway. He's like, trust the GPS at all costs. So I remade that scene, even though at this point I don't remember any of the words. And I used a filter to video as if my van had gone into the lake and like recreate that scene. And then April Fools, I cut the video down and I'm like, don't forget to check for leaks in your van. Haha, wink, wink. And I like put 2 little wink winks. That was not enough. People thought I genuinely flooded my van. That video has millions of views now. And it's interesting because when I made that years ago, AI wasn't as popular or is what it is now. And so everyone was just like, it has to be real. And then people are like, oh, it's filters. Sometimes a lot of people believed it was real. But now it's just constantly like AI, AI, AI. I'm like, AI didn't exist, hun. AI wasn't around. Okay. I had to edit this for hours, thanks. I mentioned on a previous video that I use a closet clothing app. What's the name of it again and how does it work? Okay, so it's called Closetly. So Closet LY. And essentially, the reason that I have this is because in the morning when I go to get dressed, right, my closet is crammed full of clothes because I live in a van and it's a small space. And I'll pick out an outfit and I'll like look at it and I'll put it back. And then sometimes I'll try it on and then it'll end up on the bench. And then I'll like, clothes end up a mess when I get ready in the morning. All over the van. It takes forever to re-clean up, re-hang up. But also you can't like just like open up the closet and like look at things because it's just too cramped. So before I moved in, used this app called Closetly and took a picture of every single outfit that I own, which because I live in a van is not that many. And I have an app where it's a lot of sirens tonight. Essentially I can like swipe through like Cher from Clueless's closet where I can pick out my outfit and like see it on myself and just swipe through all of my different clothes. So I literally can pick out an outfit while I'm still in bed and like see how it'll look together. And then I just go to the closet and I pick out that one outfit so that I don't have to make a mess of my van. Betty's mad that you're talking to yourself. She is. She hates when I talk. She's asleep now. She hates when I talk. It's really funny, actually. Will AAA tow you under their regular plans? I don't know. I have never had AAA, and I don't want to give an answer that I'm not 100% sure on. I have been considering looking into AAA. AAA. Haven't yet. But how are you having an energy drink at 9:30? Oh my gosh, it's 9:30 at night. That's how my eyes are starting to get fogged over. my words are starting to mumble. It's funny. Hi. Vanlife is not as well known and understood in the Northeast. It's so true. It's just not. It's just not as understood. She can't stop talking. I like it. Yeah, this is what happens. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a live stream. No. Okay, I'll make it really quick. And now we're 127 minutes in. Is van life easier on the West Coast, like I've heard a few others imply? Yeah. Okay, no. I'm sorry. I take that back. Van life is easier if you like to be in the middle of nowhere, parking in beautiful areas. Okay. That's when it's easier on the West Coast. I would say it's equally easy everywhere, but it's not as pretty or as scenic on the East Coast. It's not as easy to find free camping spots on the East Coast. That's what I would say. You can get campgrounds over here, but the problem is a lot of them are just booked. Like all the best ones are just booked, like solid, and they like book like a year in advance. Like my mom has an RV and she tries to find them and she says they're constantly booked. So it is what it is. But I would say it's equally difficult. You're just difficulty-wise. It's just you're getting different things, essentially. Will I be going to Schoolie Swarm in Illinois? I won't be, only because of the timing. I really wanted to go, but the timing's unfortunate. It's like I have one trip this year that I cannot move or budge on, which is my international trip, and everything seems to land in that 2-week period. Have I spent most of my life on my own? I mean, I had a lot of siblings growing up, and I didn't move out. And then I went to college right from that, and then I went to work in Disney World. When I worked in Disney World, I had 8 roommates. We all had 2 in a room, and then like a little like apartment, and 2 in a room, and it was a lot of us. So really, until I got a van, I was never on my own. And I love this van. I love it. I love the feeling of being here, being in the space that I've created to be so fit to me in every way possible. Like the aesthetic, where I put everything is like to me, to fit me the best and what I need. And it's like my own man cave that I spent 2 years building. But like I love it. And I feel so good in here, no matter where I am. And I could not be happier. How tall am I? I am 5'9". I am pretty tall. How do I prepare a meal? I got my phone was dying. I got scared when the orange popped up. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I really enjoy having the channel and being able to share my experiences. I think van life, in a way, can be lonely. It can be hard to find people in real life who understand it and who understand the like, what you're going through or why you're doing what you're doing. And so I love being able to come online and share not only my experiences and help others get into it, but also just feel like I'm not alone. Or like I was saying earlier, when I worked in Salem or when I worked in Vermont, and people I worked with were like so apologetic that I lived in a van and so sorry. And I was trying to explain to them like, no, like I love this. I want to do this. And I feel like when I'm here and when I'm on this channel and I'm talking, I never have to say like, explain myself. I never have to apologize for what I do. And I love that. Also my computer has 1% battery. So maybe wrapping this up, unfortunately. How do you prepare meals? So I have a microwave, I have an oven, which is also an air fryer. It's also an air fryer, a toaster, broils. It's the Wonder Oven. Really happy with it. I also have a stovetop, which I have not used yet, but I will probably be using on Monday for the first time. So it's been months and I have not used it. About tents. I don't tent camp because I'm by myself and I like to be behind locked doors. Have I ever considered a moon roof? Like see the stars at oh, like a skylight? I have a skylight and I love it. And yeah, I can see the stars at night. I can come out on the roof onto my roof deck. Perfect. One of my favorite decisions. I've had it in both vans and I love it. How long is that cord? Sorry, sweetie. Okay. Oh. Will it charge? Okay, there it is. Yeah, love truck stops as well for sleeping overnight. It's pretty great. Thank you, Greg. You're probably gone by now because I'm always up too high in the chat, but thanks for hanging out, and I appreciated all your questions all night if you are still here. Have you ever dealt with overzealous cops? One time, one time, just once. And I really do think it was a mix-up, and it's just that I was trying to say, like, that door's broken, come around, and he instead opened the door. But I can understand how the motions might have confused him, and even when it was open, he was super nice. But should not have opened my door, kind of freaked me out. Trying to think of other situations. That's the only one where I felt like it was a... Oh, one time my friend was performing at a bar. She's in a band, Turning the Tide. Great band, Turning the Tide. Go ahead, you can all look it up right now. Turning the Tide, incredible. She's such a rock star. Love her. Okay, so I was seeing her perform, and she was at a bar performing. And so after her band finished, I had not drinking anything because I didn't drink. And actually, she thought it was really funny because I brought Kool-Aid like pouches, and she's like, I have not seen one of those in a while. So I'm in a bar, like jamming front row, like rocking out as she's like banging her head, like hair flowing, like rock star, with my Kool-Aid pouch. And so I was like, I can stay here overnight because people leave their cars at bars overnight. I had never stayed at a bar before, but I was like, it's fine. Like, people do this. And I want to say it was like 5:30 in the morning because I had to go somewhere the next day to film something or to be somewhere, something. So I was up and I turned the car on and I just had to go back and do something. And I come back up and there's a cop walking around to my door. And so I would never lie to a cop. So I very, 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 very carefully worded it. Okay. Where I was like, oh, well, I don't want to drink and drive. I don't want to drink and drive. I don't. So I stayed here overnight to make sure that I was driving the safest I possibly could. Because, what are you going to do? Tell someone who's drunk to drive? She did it. She told me to drive drunk. She told me I should have driven drunk. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. I did not film. I didn't make vlogs back then, but I wish I had because I would have been videoing. And like she literally told me to drive drunk. I was like, so you don't think? I remember like rewording it 3 different ways, trying to get her to be like, realize that was a crazy take. She was like, yeah, no, you should have just driven. I was like, whoa, dude. No, I should not have. Like, all right. It's gonna sound like you had none of the tools or skills to build this van, and you did. No, honestly, That's a compliment. I understand why you're saying it's a twisted compliment, but I think that's part of why I felt like it was important for me to make build videos, because I feel like you watch build videos, and like I was saying earlier, I love Humble Road, I love Virgo's channel, but those guys are builders. They know what they're doing, and so you watch them and you're like, well, they're doing great, but can I do it? Someone with no experience, and so I'm glad that I can make videos from the perspective of someone who is saying, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm dang sure gonna try. And I think that's been like the number one message I've been trying to give, is like, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. Like this right here is super wonky cut. This is hanging down here. It doesn't matter. Like, my van is so functional and I think it's so beautiful, even with those cuts, and on a daily basis, I'm not noticing that it's not perfect. So I think it is a compliment, but I get what you're saying. Dating is easy for women. It doesn't get easier having a house. I would say, so I had a friend, per se, will say. I had a friend who basically, like, they're a dude, and it's my ex-boyfriend. Okay, so essentially he said the same thing. He's like, it's just a huge turnoff for girls that I live in a van. And then um he would always say that to me, but he's not having a problem. I don't know if I should say that all true. It's 9:30 at night. Um, he would say things like he would show up to a date and he'd be like, girls would like not get in his car. But so I don't know. I think it's different. But then also you have a problem of like, girls would be like, well, when are you going to quit van life? Like, when are you going to be done? And they'd expect, like, if they got in a relationship with a van lifer, expecting it to be a temporary thing, and it wasn't. So I don't know that dating has really changed that much since living in a van. The problem is I'm not in a steady community where I can really meet people often, I find. And that would be more the problem. How much do you pay per month for RV insurance? $109. Yeah. $109 from Roamly. And I went over that in the beginning of this video. But I just got Roamly last week and I did a huge deep dive, and I'm making a RV insurance like booklet thing. It's gonna go over everything and it's gonna be incredible. But 109 from Roamly. I thought you were in a relationship. I was for a very long time. And we broke up 2 months before I moved into the van. So like November-ish, which was tough and interesting. And it's nice to have the van and to have this, like, new chapter of my life for sure. It's like the van is very healing. It gives you a lot of time to just like be by yourself in nature and think about life and think about who you are and what you want. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels? Do you get ideas or feel any competition with other creators? Okay. So earlier I was asked this question and it took me forever to figure it out, but now they're all in here now. So as I was saying, van builders, Greg Virgo, great builder. Humble Road, great builder. Cinematic videos, Trent the Traveler makes crazy cinematic videos. Like, it's like you're watching a movie. I don't watch anyone like religiously, except I will say I watch a lot of Sarah Yak's videos. But I think that's because she reminds me a lot of like myself in a way. We bought a van at the same time. We built the vans at the same time period. Also, Aim in a Van. I love her fashion sense. I love, it's like I find van lifers who have similar vibes to me, and that's who I watch the most. I would say who I watched the most at first was Chrome, Van City Van Life. I watched a lot of his videos. And a new channel I've been watching a lot is Jenna Santa Cruz on Instagram. And I really like her videos. Okay, so here's the thing. And it's late, I'm on an energy drink, it's like 10 p.m. So let me word this correctly. I love new starting out YouTube van life channels. You can feel the vibe and you can feel how authentic and genuine the van life experience is for them. And I think it's just so beautiful and great. And it's like you get this fresh view of van life that's not meant to be trying to curate views in any way. And I think that's just like, it reminds me of this like pure feeling of van life, where sometimes van life and van building, like van builders, make me feel like this is a economy or like a way to make money or a way to like gain things in life, or like, oh, you can move into a van, then you can make more money and whatever. And um, I feel like, okay, everyone can do van life for whatever reason they want. Like, I'm not, who am I to stop them? Like, do whatever you want. But I think what van life was back when I started, back like 2020, 2019, when I was researching, it was this beautiful thing about finding yourself and connecting with the world. And I think I just see that so often when I'm looking at a new van life channel, and I love that. So I do actually watch a lot of smaller channels. Um, have I ever considered making my own audio tracks on Logic for the channel to avoid copyright issues? I already take forever to edit, so I have not. But I now use Epidemic Sound, which will cover me, and they said that they, even if they do copyright a track, like they'll cover me and back their catalog. Unlike Splice, which did not do that and screwed me over. um, where was I? Oh my goodness, I am far off from the bottom of this chat. Um, would I share a van with a partner? Yes, I prefer if there was two different vans, because I think being in a small space, it's difficult to navigate. Um, like for example, you get up in the morning and you feel like one person can get ready at a time, because otherwise you're bumping each other, which is frustrating after a while. And just kind of like the space is small. So I just prefer if like we had separate spaces to be able to do our own thing for the most part, or like have a space to go, or to be able to hit different avenues or paths or journeys at whatever point without feeling pressured. How is my van getting heat? So I have the Vanlife Tech Radiant hydronic heated floors, and they are they're like the top of the line heater. Like they're the best heaters you can get, because it's hydronic radiant heat. So basically the heat's raising from the floor, and then it's like, I'm sorry, it's 10 o'clock at night. It like connects and warms all of the items around you. So it isn't just warming the air. So the difference is, when it warms just the air, you open a side door and all the hot air rushes out and now you're cold. It's warming the entire environment. So also in my old van, the floor would get really cold and I couldn't like step on it. My feet would literally freeze, and like they would just, I couldn't move them. Now the floor is like the best part in the winter. Your cat started making biscuits. That's so cute. Mine's sleeping. What are my tattoos? Okay, I don't know if my mom is in here or not. She watches all of my videos and I love her very much. And if she is here, Mom, I got another tattoo. This one is really, really new. I have not made a video with it in the video yet, so I don't think anyone's seen it yet until this video. But I have a semicolon tattoo. I have Expedition Everest from when I worked in Disney. We got them, my like roommates and I got them on our last day, to commemorate our program, because it was one of the most monumental, like life-changing things I've ever done in my life. Like it was what put me on this path. And then this is Long Live in Taylor Swift's handwriting. One of her best songs. It's a beautiful song. And I think I want to go back actually and get like a dragon with it, or turn this into a dragon, or I have a sketch right now to put like Fireheart right here with a little sword, from the book Throne of Glass. So, like even it out, you know what I mean? Like balance it. But yeah, so I just got that done very recently. So if I get a text at any moment, I'll know it's from my mom, who's now seen that I got another tattoo. It's not like, not in a bad way. Like I didn't tell her. So she'll just be a little surprised. Thank you, Kat. I don't know how to say your first name, or if that is your name, but thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate that. That was a while ago, and I know I've only just gotten down to your message, but I do appreciate you supporting my channel. Do I have any plans to travel to the West? Yes, 100%. I do. When will they happen? I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. But I definitely will. I'm going to hit every national park eventually. I'm going to hit every NASCAR track eventually. I want to do Route 66 at one point. There's a lot of plans to be happening. And I'm realizing it's dark, so bugs are coming in the skylight. Cool. It's also 9 o'clock, so I might have to log off soon. I'm not homeless, I'm free. Exactly. You nailed it. I made a roof deck. Yes, I love my roof deck. It's one of my best upgrades. In my last van, I had some space to be able to sit on my roof, but it always concaved from the weight, so the roof deck is incredible. It's advisable to have a weapon with you while traveling across the country. Yes. Yes, yes. I have many. And I have many, many security systems. I have many locks. That door has like 4 locks and bulletproof glass windows. It's crazy. Thanks from another East Coast van lifer, Cat Lady. Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting my channel, and also everyone who like watches my videos and supports my channels that way. Like it's so cool to me that I watched van life videos when I started out, but now I get to make van life videos, and people are like, "Oh, like you inspired me to get into van life," and I'm like, "That's so crazy," but super cool because I feel like I'm giving back in a way. Like it's what inspired and taught me how to do van life. How is your mom's Class C doing? Mom, if you're here, I don't want you to hear this either because I have not admitted to you the full depth. We're gonna have to redo the walls. There's definitely mold in the walls, and that'll be a whole video project. Maybe we can do a whole reno on her RV. But there was a leak. We found some problems. You can get a water meter moisture tester, and you can hold it up against the walls and see where there's moisture. And there's definitely some mold in the walls, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to fix that. When that's gonna be in the schedule, I don't know. But I do have a video coming out at some point soon where I redid all of her RV seams, the outdoor seams and seals. And that's where I discovered that. And she had a big leak in one of the windows, which was terrible. It was like a huge crack in the window, like in between the emergency window when you closed it. It was just like at the top, right where all the water could gush in into the walls, hence mold. So you think I'm a pro van builder? Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to take it so seriously, and I am friends with a lot of professional van builders, so I hear their advice, I ask them questions, and I take it very seriously. You want to get a van and start documenting? Absolutely. I mean, dude, the van's the best decision I ever made. Where am I at now? What part of the country? I'm in the South. I'm in Florida. And that's pretty much as I can say. Do I live in this? Yes, I do. I do live in here full time now. It's been about 3 months in this build, in this set, and about 5 years total, but I took some time off to build the van. It's incredible. Uneven cuts don't matter. They don't. They really don't. I'm so far behind. Oh, wait, no, wait, here I am. How deep are my counters? You just made your first counter about 20 inches to center. That much. I don't think I have a tape measure. How would I know? Well, this is 14 by 14 sink. So I would say 21 inches, maybe? About 21 inches? If you really, really want to know, you can email me and I'll measure it when I know where my tape measure is. I think it's in my trunk. How close are you to the wall? Like this wall? Or do you mean a different wall? Like the Great Wall of China? Sometimes an energy drink helps you to relax to sleep. That's good for you, man. Good for you. I drink one of these every day. They're always in my videos. I'm like, if anyone in the whole universe is going to sponsor me, it should be VA energy drinks. Yeah, Kristen Schaefer made great videos too. She had a beautiful style of videos. They were just so calm and peaceful, and she's great at like the cinematic, like having like a photographer's eye. Tell my cat, I said, pss, pss, pss. I don't think she reacts to that. Pss, 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 pss. Nope, didn't budge. Sorry. I have a very weird cat. Glue both fans together. Okay. Oh, I guess I won't go into that. It's not that I don't want my partner to be sleeping in the van with me. It's that I want us to have separate spaces. But then also here comes the thing, right? So you're traveling with someone else, like your partner, and you have 2 different vans. And now you have 2 vans to stealth camp with, which just makes it so complicated. Like I had a friend who said that he never had a single problem stealth camping until he had his girlfriend with him. And then he had knocks all the time because now there's 2 vans. So that does increase the problems. I don't know. I haven't figured out the magic answers to everything about relationships and vans. Um, but I know that if I was on the road with somebody, I would need the ability to have my own space at some point, right? Like at some point. Um, and so the answer to that seems like having their own van. But then also, you get this weird thing sometimes with relationships where it seems like you never know if someone's like trying or interested in you because you have a van. And that's a weird thing, right? Like there's like a literal word for it, which is like what do they call it? Um Homosexual. People like there's like two ways to say that. One is like someone who does not have a house and is using you to be able to use your house. Or in the van life community, someone who doesn't have a van wants to have a van and wants to be with you just because you have a van and they don't have to get their own then. So that's a thing to watch out for, which is a weird thing. If people were dating and had separate vans, but then build a whole thing to connect them, like it'd be so cute. Like being in like in a campsite or a beach, and you just both have your doors open. That'd be so cute. But you also have like your own, all of your own things in your own space. If you stop paying the epidemic sound, all your videos will be copyrighted. Be careful how you're using them unless you want to use them forever. No way. No way. That's terrible. Okay. That's a weird comment. I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip it. Oh no, someone mean came in the chat. Okay, I've now had a YouTube channel for about, am I going on 3 or 4 years? And it's so interesting because I don't know what it is, but around holidays, I like don't read the comment sections on any of my videos because for some reason holidays, people become really mean on holidays. Is it because they're with their families? That's my guess. I don't know what it is. It's like you have more time off of work. You'd think you'd be nicer. I don't know. But holiday time, like if I post a video on a holiday weekend, I'm gonna get the meanest comments every time. I'm gonna get old videos with mean comments. It's just like out the wazoo. I don't really know what a wazoo is, but you get the point. Taya? Taya? Is Taya still here? Because, oh, okay. Taya, I love you. Okay. Taya said, OMG, I have a tattoo of my program too. And I was like, oh, someone else did the Disney, oh my gosh, words, it's 10:30. Disney college program. Taya and I got our tattoos together. I love you. Oh my gosh, how's Merlin? I like just want to focus on this now. You're right. Like, whenever I meet anyone, I'm like, my favorite person in the whole world is Taya. She's like the kindest, sweetest person I've ever met in my life. And she's like who I want to be in the world. Okay. You're so real for the long live song reference. It is old, but when she played it on the Eras tour, Amber, I was walking through the grocery store. And I am not a dramatic person. I am not a scene. I don't make a scene. I don't like people to look at me. I kid you not. I fell to my knees in the middle of a grocery store and I cried. People just unfollowed me just from saying that. They're like, that's a lot. It is a lot. That song means a lot to me. Okay. And it encapsulates so much. And I think it's so beautiful. And so I'm glad that I could commemorate it. And also like the vibes of the song is like dragons and fantasy is like the aesthetic. And that's very me as well. So Clairvaux's a good one too. Have I ever considered collaborating with other creators? Yes, but the problem with van life is like everyone's so far away. But when I do my van tour, then people have asked me to do tours of my van and be on their channel, and I've said no until I do my van tour. But then I'll definitely be collaborating in that way for sure. I had a question. Just wanted to say that my favorite videos of yours are the ones where you reflect on life and share your reflections. Thank you. I'm glad that you said that because I feel like the ones where I'm being really reflectional. Sorry, it's late. My words are starting to. It's been a while. I've been on this live stream. Sometimes they feel really cheesy, or they feel like over the top, or they feel like I don't know. So it's just hard to portray and to like get everything across and feel. I don't know, like when people set up their phone and they like film themselves like crying, like those videos where I'm being super emotional, it feels very like strange. And so, but it also feel like important. Like the video I made called I worry van life is ruining my life. That one felt so important to make. Even though I knew it was a passing feeling that I was going to get over and I was going to keep doing van life, I knew it was so important to document that chapter and talk about that chapter because when people get into van life, like there's just waves. And it's like a roller coaster. One time, like you're like, this is the best thing I've ever done in my whole life. And the next you're like, am I insane? Am I losing my mind? Why did I do this? And so I like documenting the entire process of all the ups and downs. So I feel like it's important, even if I'm like Feeling very emotional. Do I have nightmares involving my van? No, but when I car camped, I used to have nightmares about car camping because my car had like no security measures, had like no safety measures, and I knew that, and so I would have nightmares every night car camping, which is why the security on this van's over the top, because now I can sleep at night and I have no concerns. More Star Wars memes on this channel. Absolutely, I agree. More Star Wars memes, more Star Wars references. I will get on that. I promise. My worry with making references is always, am I making references that are too niche? And so I feel like I have to stick to Star Wars, Harry Potter, um, Lord of the Rings. Like, because I can make a million Throne of Glass references, but it's not that popular. Super great though. Two taboo topics with mom: mold and tattoos. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. If she's not watching now, she'll probably rewatch the live stream tomorrow and surprise, mom. It could be worse. It could be so much worse. Do I have a gas generator in my van? I don't. I don't, but I've considered it and I've thought about it, and it is in the noggin. I don't have one yet. I haven't needed one. I thought I needed one there for a little bit because my fridge has been pulling a lot of power because it's broken and I didn't realize what was happening. Um, but I have 400 amp hours of battery. I thought it wasn't enough. Again, like I was saying for a while that it wasn't enough because of my fridge. I didn't know it was my fridge that was doing that. But I think it is going to be enough once I have the fixed fridge in. Um, do I ever worry about having a breakdown in the middle of nowhere? Okay, I really gotta. Please hold while I close my skylight because bugs get attracted to light. And so there's no bug screen on there right now. Okay, so Vannerism. I like that. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before. Do you ever worry about having a breakdown in the middle of nowhere? Are you prepared for this? Yes, I'm very prepared for it. I've learned a lot of different things about how to replace a tire, how to use my traction boards, all the different like tips and tricks, and having tools in here for that scenario. Um, but you know, of course, there's always a scenario I haven't thought of. So we'll see. Where do I park my van at night? So Cracker Barrels, Walmarts, hotels are I like last resort if I can't find anything else, but there's always a hotel somewhere. I use the iOverlander app when I need to. Um, but yeah, Cracker Barrel, Planet Fitness, 24-hour Planet Fitness, and Walmart. I've been doing those for like 3 months. 3 months straight. Occasional side of the road, occasional iOverlander. That's my life. That's where I live. I didn't know I made lives either. I want to make it a new thing that I do. I just feel like I love having genuine conversations about van life that are like real and in the moment. I could talk about van life forever. So I want to do it more often, but I was worried about my internet to be honest. But right now, Travelfi has got me. It's in front of the fan because it does overheat when it's using a lot of power. And yeah, it's been going strong for a while, no problem. So solid. Thank you, Citrus, for supporting the live and that very fun meme. If people hit something that you don't like or don't understand doesn't mean they're evil. Yeah, I one of the reasons I love this book that I was talking about earlier, The Courage to Be Disliked, is it talks so much about how what people say about you is not like it says a lot about them as a person. And often it's their insecurity, and so you shouldn't like hate them for it. You try to just understand them, and that can help you not feel bad about yourself when they say a mean thing to you, but also have empathy for them. So that's very helpful to me because I um there was a comment this morning that was like rough. It was rough. Um, and you know, and then I carry on. And then I carry on. Do I feel safer in the city or in the woods? I feel safer in the city because there's people around, right? Like if someone tried something right now, my alarm's right here. I have all these different options. I got on the skylight and I just start yelling, right? Like people are gonna see, it's gonna make a scene. And something can happen because I'm making a scene in the woods. So I don't really like going to the woods alone, which is why a lot of people do enjoy um, like out in the middle of nowhere camping, and I just don't often feel safe doing that. But a reason I like the water management, the Florida water management free camping, is they're all behind locked gates, so that feels really great. Um, Need more Back from the Future. Absolutely, I agree. More Back to the Future forever. Have I ever reenacted the? I have not. I have not reenacted that from Chris. I have never seen Christmas Vacation. Assuming it's a comedy movie. Um, the longest live you've been on. It has been very long, and I'm sorry that my words start to a mumble and get mixed up, but we're trying our best. What is my pet peeve when it comes to people making comments about van life? Oh, that's a great question. Okay. Pity. Pity. And not because it's just like, I try to explain to them, like, it's not a thing to pity. Um, uh, they don't like get it. And then I'm like trying to explain, like, oh no, like I chose to do this. And they don't believe me, but I'm like, oh yeah, I chose to do this. I want to do this. It's like, then they start acting like, that's a great mentality to have about a bad situation. And I'm like, no. Oh my gosh. One time my mom and I were in a class. Okay. We were in a security class, a projectile class, if you may. And she said, we were asking about gun. Can I use that word? I don't know if I can use that word. We were asking about projectile laws. My mom said, what do you do? Like, I have a child who lives in a van. What do I do about? And then the class went like, oh no, don't say that. That was the one that got me the most. Was she went, oh, don't say that. And it's like, even if it was like a sad car situation, what do you mean don't say that? If it's true, it's true. Like, what do you mean? And like they were like, oh no. It was a women's only class. And I was like, it's me? And it's not like that. Okay, got it. And they just don't believe you. They just like don't understand it, and they just think it's like the sad, depressing thing. Which is always strange. Have I been listening to? I have not. I have not. You look like a poem of Mahumi. I don't know what that is. Can you see my cat? Yeah. Look at her. She's sleeping. She's so beautiful. um, as a woman that's been planning van life for the last 10 years, I hope one day to get a hangout at a firing gap. Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that. It's hard for me to meet female van lifers, but I just think men and women have very different experiences in van life. And I think that's another misconception that people have. Also, that they assume that men have it like easier in van life just because the safety aspect isn't there. But I think men have it hard in van life for a whole different set of reasons. And I think that's its own little like deep dive. But I think it's really interesting to meet women as well and like talk about the things that make van life so interesting as a woman. And I have a lot of guy friends that are van lifers right now, and they just like don't understand the safety aspect. They don't understand why I do the things that I do in the way that I do them, or they just kind of like think I'm like overkill, and I'm like, that's because you're a dude and you don't have to worry about that. You don't get it. So sometimes girls just get it, and I would love that. What's your pet peeve when it comes to people making comments? I'm sorry, I did that one already. Wish you would consider branching out with your talents and do other topics too. Do you see life outside of van life? Yeah, absolutely. The thing about YouTube is if you do a video outside of your niche, it punishes you. It like it's not gonna perform well. People only want to see you do your niche, so that's a struggle. Um, that's a struggle because I do find that's one of the saddest things that's happened. I love this channel. As I was saying, I love being able to talk about van life. But one of the saddest things is I feel like I used to be a very diverse person and I did so many things, and van life was, pun intended, the vehicle to get me there. And the like, it was the route, but it wasn't my life. It was a thing that I did that enabled me to do all of these other things. And now that I do YouTube and I talk about van life for a living and I make videos, and I feel like van life has become more than just the avenue to achieve the things that I want to achieve. I feel like it's become the overarching, like, main aspect of my life. And it's very strange because I don't think like van life was supposed to ever be your entire personality. I think it's supposed to be something that helps you live the life you want to live. And it's very interesting to see how it changes when you're making videos. And it's like every day I think about van life so much. And before, when I lived in a van and I didn't video it, I didn't think about it at all. I just did it. So that's interesting. Um, Loved your Pocono video series with your dad. Such a great video. Oh, you were there with your dad too? Okay. It was great. It was great. I just went to the Daytona 500 and it was so magical. And I really wanted to go to Talladega. Didn't. I'm not going to make it this year. I will make it one year. That's supposed to be the craziest one. Um, but I have to hit another one this year. I freaking amazing. Like, I literally, it was so beautiful. Like, just standing on my roof and like seeing the crowd and seeing the race from my roof, I was in awe. And then like the fighter jets flying above me, incredible. I'm so excited to share those videos because I haven't gotten there yet. I'm finishing the van build first. Um, how is your power system treating you? Do you need more battery power or is it sufficient for your daily needs? So it wasn't doing that hot for a minute. And that was because my fridge, I didn't realize was over pulling power because it's overheating, and now my fridge is kind of broken. So I thought I needed more battery, but actually it's doing great. It's just the fridge that's the problem. But I have 400 amp hours in a Red Arc system, and I have the Red Arc Red Vision screen here. I love it. I can read everything that's going on without like my phone needing to be out. Like I can just see it on the wall. So it's been going pretty well. I can see my mom, yeah, she just have to explain that she's a physical therapist, and so she tells people about the van, and I think for the most part people are excited, but then yeah, she has to explain it sometimes for sure. Do I ever miss a permanent home, or does the freedom outweigh it? I have moments, like if I'm struggling for a while, like I realized on Sunday, like this weekend, like the gym's closed for Easter. That's where I shower. Like my shower is gone. Like that's kind of upsetting. A little bit. So there's moments. I made a video recently called I wonder if van life is ruining my life. And it was a moment where I was thinking that. I was wondering if living in a permanent house was so much better. And it was literally just because I had running water, I had a dishwasher, and I didn't have to think about power, like electricity draw. And life was just simpler and easier in that way. But then what? Like I'm freaking traveling all of Florida for 3 months straight. Like can't beat that. I'll take not having running water any day. um, I might have to wind down soon because it's been a hot minute, and my phone has 15% battery now. But think women are better for vans because they're smaller. I have had that thought, but I am 5'9", so I'm not sure that I get that one. um, what challenges do men have in van life that women don't? The number one thing I can think of. That's you can literally see my words starting to get tired. The number one thing I can think of is that I remember I learned a lot about van life because I've only ever dated 3 guys in my life, but 2 of them were van lifers, and now all 3 of them are van lifers. um, and I heard their stories about what they were going through and what they were experiencing, and I'm like, I've never experienced that. And the number one thing was that people see them as a threat, right? Like they pull up in a white van and they are the threat. People ask them to leave way more often. They see them sitting in the front seat and they are, curious why this guy pulled up in a white van and why he's sitting. And it seems more like he's like patrolling or checking things out, right? So he's seen more as a threat. Where people see me like a cop. I've had knocks and I've had cops come up to my door and they're always so nice. Like they're just like, "Oh, hey, sweetie, like, can you move?" And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And oh, I'm so sorry. Hi, baby. That was terrible. Okay, I have to get a retreat. That was terrible. I know. How dare I? Um, yeah, that was awful. There you go. Okay. Um, so sorry. Um, so Cops are always very nice to me. They're always just like, "Oh, hey, can you move?" But their experiences have been different. And I remember one time we were at a park and we were parking somewhere, and for some reason a ranger came up and they asked us to move, right? And usually I'm the one who like deals with any by myself, so I'm always the one dealing with cops, and I've never had a single person ever be mean or be like serious at me, right? Like they're always so sweet and so nice. And he went up to the front and they were mean. They're like, "You can't be here," and they were all like forceful, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're not going again. You're not going up there again. It'll be me next time." And I think that's the difference. That I would say the main difference is we're seen differently. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I think okay, this is not a funny joke, but obviously occasionally like little bonks happen, and I always give her treats right afterwards because I feel really bad. And I'm like, am I training my cat to be like, yes, please hit me so I can have treats? You know, like Pavlov's dogging her, but yeah, it's terrible. um, have I ever thought about stepping up from a van to a large motor coach? I have not because I like how stealth this is. I like how easy it is to drive. I like how it can fit in so many places. Um, it's just so simple, and I can go anywhere. I can stealth camp. I can go to New York City and have no problems. Um, so I like that and appreciate that. I wanted to know if you ever went to Mackinac Island I have not ever been there. I gotta stop blaming myself as a fan person. To other people or like online? To other people, yeah, I don't lead with it. I don't lead with it to other people. Like I don't tell people unless it's like someone I know well. I don't ever lead with it like a real life scenario. Also, I don't want them to know like, oh yeah, this girl's gonna go out there and sleep in her vehicle around here somewhere. You know, like I don't like to tell people. Can I isolate the fridge from where the heated floor is in the winter? That's going to be the number one question is how to figure out how to not have the fridge overheat with the heated floor. That was the mistake. I have a heated floor and I had a fridge, and the fridge is not even an inch above the heated floor. So as you can see, this is probably why my fridge broke. Um, so okay, I'm gonna answer like two more, but then I really got it. It's been a while. How many watts of solar do I have? I have 500 watts. I do not have anti-shading panels. They came out and were in like public popularity around the time that I got my panels, like right afterwards. I want to say I saw Sarah Yak's video first, and I was like, "What? Anti-shading panels?" Big regret, but that is what it is. A hidden challenge of van life that nobody talks about. If no one talks about. Ooh, that's a good one. Hmm. I want to give a good answer. No one talks about. Hmm. I feel like I watch a lot of van content, so I feel like I feel like everything is talked about all of the time. Um, hmm. I don't know. My brain automatically goes to like how often I'm cleaning because I'm cleaning twice a day for like 30-40 minutes. Um, that is talked about. Minimalism is talked about, but like it's rough. I have a video where I move into the van and I go through all of my things, and it was difficult to get it all down into a van. Like it's all cutesy when you watch it online, and it's like, oh, I'm getting rid of my stuff, and I'm like minimalizing. I live out of one backpack, and then you have to do it yourself. Rough, like difficult, um, a difficulty. I don't know. I don't know. So sorry. I don't have a good one. Um, blink the times the cat is holding you hostage. Uh, genuinely, she's definitely the one in charge for sure. Oh, your cat's. Well, you have to give your cats treats now. I don't make the rules. Where to next for a camp spot? I have my five go tos, but I definitely want to use the Florida. I'm forgetting what it's called now. The Florida Water System program more often. They have free camping. It's up here somewhere. Uh, Not this one. Water Management District free camping for sure. If I've been to Quartzsite, what's the weirdest? I've never been to Quartzsite. It's on my list. It's on my list, and one day we'll get there. Ensuring you're having too much condensation. You're right. Condensation and moisture are not talked about enough. That's a great one. Nailed it. You're right. That's so true. Yes, actually, 100%. The health issues that could possibly come with van life. That's killer answer. Killer answer. So true. About air circulation in here. Even like besides mold, just air circulation. I tested the air in here one time, and like without this air flowing, like this air in here is getting old, and then you're breathing that all in. I read a study once about microplastics in vehicles, and imagine like they're talking about like people being in a car and driving with the microplastics in the air. Imagine living in the vehicle. So I that's why I keep like all my fans on at all times and I'm constantly circulating air because yeah. So health issues in that way. Um and just like making sure you're taking care of yourself. It's really easy for me to be in here for a full day and take 0 steps. Like sit in bed and work all day and not go anywhere. And so I have to be more conscious of my health and like moving around. So I would say you nailed it with that answer for sure. Um Condensation is all Greg Virgo talked about. Does the dehumidifier work? I do have a little like moisture gatherer. So that's pretty solid. But that's about it. Okay, it is 10:30 now. 10:21 to be exact. But thank you everyone who hung out with me for the last 175 minutes and who was here. And hopefully I answered a lot of questions. Will I do a live again? I want to do one once a week and just talk about van life and answer some van life questions. I worry that like if I do it once a week, they're gonna end up being like the same questions and the same answers repeatedly. So I'm not sure what I want to do or how I want to do it, but I definitely want to do them more often. Even if I just come back and like just make dinner on a live stream or just do something fun, and just show some kind of van life thing. So that's the idea. Betty's like, "Are you done talking now?" Betty hates when I talk. So thank you so much for hanging out. I had a lot of fun. I love talking about van life, and I hope this was helpful in some way. But good night. Going off at 10:20. Well, it's 22:22, which is my lucky numbers too. So that makes perfect sense, and it's a perfect. So it's definitely a good luck sign. All right. Good night, everyone. Good Betty. Look at her. She's so cute. Look at her stretching.